on? Is it already on? Okay, Dave and Ian, how about you welcome guests? And when you start talking, we're going to come onto your camera. Hold on, apparently. Okay, just stand by, Holly, stand by.
Do you want to start?
I'll go ahead and
You
start.
go start. Cool.
Okay, Dave Laney, welcome us, and then introduce Ian. Ian, after you've introduced yourself, throw it down to Holly for a quick hello. And you guys can go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, we're live, APP World Tour. Welcome to the London Sup Open. I'm Dave Bainey. I'm here with my buddy Ian McCarthy. We're stoked to be here. And
Super stoked.
Yeah, good morning to you, Ian. And I guess we got Holly down on the docks, ready to kick off this first heat, sprint heat, pro men's.
Thank you guys, and we're here at the Docklands and Watersports Sailing Club for the first round of the men's sprints for the London Sup Open. Behind me we've got So yes, as I said, we're here at the Docklands Watersports and Sailing Club for the first heat of the London Sup Open men's sprints. We've got a great day of sprinting ahead. The sun is shining, the races are ready, and we're about to start the race. So we're standing by. We've got some great racers behind me. We've got some the Blue Euro in this heat, which is the local legend, the local paddler. And so we're looking forward to seeing what the UK talent can do today. So standing by. London Sup Open sprints. Over to you guys.
Start talking and let's give it a talk about Heat 1, and I'll get graphics to you guys in a second here.
Cool, we roll into it. Heat 1, it's looking pretty stacked. Arthur Rutkin, Tom Orber, Ride Taguchi, super excited to watch a ride today. And then we've got a couple of free Brits, Will Keatley, Blue Ewer, Blue smashing it in the Worlds last week. And Bruce Smith just qualified from the Opens this morning, so that's pretty cool for some of these guys in the heats, well in this round, getting to ride against the pros.
Yeah, so we're just with the first pro sprints of the men, we got a bag full of veterans and some young buck junior racers, so it'll be an interesting first heat. Obviously Arthur Rutkin, I believe he's won a sprint world title in the past. Tom O'Bear, one of the top European racers on the world stage. Rai Taguchi really coming into his own, the Japanese paddler, and I'm super excited to see, you know, Will and Blue and Bruce. You know.
Will super young, like 17, young rider from the UK. Blue, young, like 20. Blue's sort of been leading charge in the UK. Bruce, he's a veteran of the UK sort of scene, so like loads of, if you're streaming from the UK, you've probably heard of and met Bruce. Yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to have such a big event in your, backyard, so to speak. So these guys are, they're flying the flags for Europe right now.
Yeah, they're loving it. They're loving it. But yeah, no, keep your eye on Rye in this heat. You know, he is the man. Here we go. Okay, we're missing the live feed, so we're going to turn. Bear with us.
Yeah, and it looks straight away, it looks like That looks like Right to
That
Gucci
is
from
right,
here.
right. Making a blast from the start. I can see blue in the pink just behind. Can't make out the white top at this moment.
That is Arthur Rukin in second in white. So
Yeah,
Right to
yeah.
Gucci in blue, Arthur Rukin in white in second. Red from this angle looks maybe third or outside on the outside lane.
Blue's taken third. It's tight. So round the first marker, boys. So with the course, it's a short sprint. Left round the first mark, left again. Then we've got a right turn as your third. Finish by a final left with a short sprint through the arch. Yeah, Rise carrying on some awesome form from last week. He's on the SIC RS there. Arthur keeping on his tail there.
Yeah, it actually
Here we
looks
go.
like it looks to be Right to Gucci first, Tom Aubert in second,
That is Tom.
and Arthur Rukin in third. And a lot of times these sprints, you obviously want to be first to the buoy. It's really hard to pass, after you get that hole shot.
Yeah.
And you can see Right to Gucci has been leading, and he's going to win this race from start
Yeah.
to finish.
Well done, Tom. And Arthur behind, look at that. Blue coming through, Will on his tail. And Bruce. What an experience for some of these guys that perhaps wouldn't have expected to be racing against some of the best in the world. Awesome. I mean, that just goes to show, right, as exactly what you were saying. First to the buoy, you take a commanding sort of position. It's very difficult to pass on a short technical course like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no surprise really there. The veterans did what they got to do.
Yeah.
Came straight off the line, and they finished 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a good experience for the Young Bucks, and I believe they get a repechage heat,
Yeah.
so they'll get another crack at it. So just a little warm up.
Yeah, we'll see more of Rye there. That was super cool to watch. He's only 19 himself from Japan.
Yeah, and Rye's been on the scene for a little while now, and he's finally kind of growing into his body, and because he was just like a young little Japanese kid, and he's really, you could tell his confidence is there,
Yeah.
and he's always had the talent, and it's starting to show. He's starting to, show up in big moments.
So we've got round 2 coming up now. We've got a live feedback. Cool. Let's have a look. Christian Anderson in here again. Bags of experience on tour. Daniel Hazulio, Tim Oliver.
Yeah, definitely a
It's been really
camaraderie
impressive,
there.
Yeah, even seeing them here, they're packed together, working together. It's cool. Bringing the youngsters through as well. It's nice to see.
Yeah, and a lot of these paddlers, like you said, came straight from Poland, straight over here to London. I know Christian Anderson was out there.
He was, yeah. He had a Christian. I was talking to him. He actually, while he was out in Poland, he had quite a nasty finger infection.
Okay,
and
yeah.
they sort of put him out a bit of one of the races, and so he's sort of been those little niggles that they have to sort of deal with and just
Yeah.
roll with, and still get out there and race. And so he's coming off the back of that. Daniel, just. Dan there being put in the wake of these guys. Let's see if we can get an order at the first boy. We've got Christian first.
Yeah, Christian out in front. Got a nice hole shot out there in white coming around the corner. There we can see on the live feed now.
Okay, we're back on live feed.
I'm wondering if these...
Yeah, Christian. There's Daniel, it looks like, just behind him in the white shirt, trying to position himself. This is where it gets challenging for the riders. You know, you've got to make the overtake. You've got to kind of be teeing yourself up coming into that turn and sort of positioning to make a charge in the straight. You can see Daniel there making a bit of ground. Yeah, we're having to just spin around the action just behind us here. So Christian still leads, 2 turns to go, followed by Daniel Hazulio. Can't see who that is on the NSP. Our team didn't start, so is it Ivan? Sergio's a taller rider. I think that's Sergio there in the pink shirt. He had a good performance last week in Poland. Young rider again from Spain. But Christian here coming over the line, followed by Daniel. And Ivan, good man, well done. Dan Miller, good man. Shout out to Troy and Malia from Dan. He's been wanting to give a shout out to you guys back home. Good man, Dan.
All right, straight away, we got 2 heats down. Moving straight into heat number 3, Itzel Delgado from Peru, Shuri, aka Shrimpy Araki from Japan, Clement Colmas, Kaylin Lockhart, Daniel Perez, and Hector Gesell. So all these heats, pretty competitive here.
Yeah, big riders. So Itzel, you know.
Yeah. Traveled over here with Itzel this week. Arranged his boards to get here all the way from California, and actually sent a board for Shuri
cool.
out here. So we're stoked that they landed safely, no dings, and they're known to be good sprinters. So this is going to be cool.
So Itzel off the back of Santa Monica.
Yeah.
So he's
absolutely.
positioned well. So he's going to want to perform well today. You know, he's right up there for the championship points for the APP World Tour. So expect to see him really going for this. You know.
And Itzel currently sitting 3 in the ratings. With Michael Booth number 2 opting not to come to this event. He's got obviously a great chance to overtake second place and even first place if he does something really special this weekend. And we all know Connor Baxter sitting in that first place slot. Shrimpy too, I think, I can't remember his rating, but he did really well in Santa Monica as well. So he's looking for those points.
I know Hector Gesell is a young UK rider out of Surf Sanctuary down in Cornwall. Yeah. Shout out to Don Moore, who's running the show down there. That's cool. Daniel Perez, Kaylin Lockhart. Kaylin's the man.
Kaylin's
wherever he goes,
he
there's
is
the
a
party.
beast. Absolutely. So here we go.
Here we go. This is going to be a good one. Expecting big things here.
Yeah, but just making sure that for a fair start, you can see people backing up, moving forward.
And then also just we will now give you the program feed. Sorry for the delay there, but you do have the program feed.
Yeah, we've got the feed here. So we've got, it's quite cool actually, we're speaking to Joao, who's the race director, I suppose, the referee. So he's there making sure everything is all in good order. He's working with the
The water in the correct coloured bib, please.
So it is possible to come from the outside.
Yeah.
So just watch this buoy turn. So
This
Kalen
is
with
a
the heel
dry
side
race
turn.
is a fast race.
Yeah, there goes Itzel.
hold
No
it.
mistakes. Looks like Clement's going to hold on to third. Shrimpy's got a little bit of work to do if he wants to get this top three. I think it's top three advance and then top three go to repechage.
That's right.
So
He's
let's see. Like
trying to get just inside him there at the. It's
So
going
it
to
is
be tight. He's
gonna be-
coming back on Clement here.
yeah, look at Shrimpy. He's definitely got a good
Yeah,
fast
yeah.
gear. But look, Clement's being smart.
Clement's- yeah,
He's kind of boxing him out a
covered
little
the
bit,
gap.
which is
Nice.
completely legal.
Yeah, he's done well.
And there you go. So first one across that line was Kalen. Across that line was second Itzel. And that was a rad little finish for third. But looks like Clement third, but held on to that third place.
Cool. Stoked for Kalen there. He's
Yeah, it's probably the most competitive heat we've seen so far. That was fun to watch.
cool. Here we go. I think they're going to shoot over to Holly for maybe an interview on the dock. If Kalen got the memo.
Lots of action though. This is how these sprints go, man. Bang, bang, bang,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
after another. And heat number 4, none other than sprint world champion Connor Baxter. Claudio Nica, also known for his sprint.
Yeah. Out of Italy. We got Ludovic Toulard.
I'm glad you took that.
Yeah, no, I could see it. I could see the pause. I could see the pause. Yeah, Ludo's cool.
Yep, and then Kane de Graaf all the way from Australia.
Yeah.
And Han Seong Ho. And
Natapat Koman.
I like the handoff.
Yeah, no, that's good. We've got that flowing. Again, just some top class paddlers in this heat. Connor shouldn't really need an introduction, but if you're new to this and you don't know who Connor Baxter is, hailing from the States, he is the current world champ, and yeah, smashed it in Poland last week.
Yeah, no, this is a really exciting heat because Connor and Claudio, they're teammates.
Yeah.
They're both really known for their sprinting, and they got to go head to head in the first round. So that's pretty cool. And so I'm ready to see this. Obviously,
cool.
Connor, I think he's probably the poster boy for sprinting. So I hear the starting line. There they go.
Here we go. So you can see the Starboard boys, teammates, pushing each other all the way. Connor and Claudio making that dash for it.
Yep, so that's Claudio and Connor on the left side of the screen there. Kane de Graaf out on the outside.
Yeah.
Got a good quick jump, and nice. He is currently in fourth now. In third,
Can't tell you at the moment who.
on the SIC,
On the SIC, yeah.
I think that's Ludovic. So here we go, first buoy.
It is Ludovic, yeah. Okay.
Connor makes it around. Claudio in second, Ludovic in third, and we got kind of a tangle
battle
up
at the
for
back.
fourth.
Oh, nice. Ludovic trying to make a move on that second buoy. He's really on the back of Claudio there, and that's difficult for the rider that has the edge, knowing you got that board chasing your tail. Connor just looking out in clean water. Up to that right turn, the penultimate turn. Oh. So yeah, Connor safely round that. Claudio following him. Ludovic safely round. And you wouldn't in this position expect much to change as they come towards the line. Ludovic pushing Claudio a little bit there. Not letting him have it too easy.
Yeah, and lucky for these guys, the back half kind of got hung up battling each other. So you got to imagine these guys know that, and they're turning off the brakes, putting on the brakes a little bit, kind of cruising to that 1, 2, 3. But really no surprises there, right? Connor Baxter first, Claudio second. And that was, there's your top three.
And those are the 4 men's heats.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the seeding is for the repechage. If there's much advantage to try to finish 4th, 5th, or 6th.
Yeah.
We'll see how that lines up. Well, what's up, you guys? Good morning. Dave Bainey here.
Cool, Ian McCarthy.
And we're live here, London
live.
Sup Open. Thank you for joining us. Got all the action behind us.
We've got a shout out actually to the facilities we're at, which are the Docklands Sailing and Water Sports Centre. Stepped up at the last minute to provide these facilities. Been super cool. They've got a great spot here on Millwall Dock. Yeah,
it is. With all the the happenings happening in London right now.
Yeah.
It is pretty amazing that we're able to still pull off this event.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of the countries being shut down for certain reasons, of course, and for us to be here and able to knock out and keep the tour going is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been good, and a lot of riders as well. Just I think really enjoyed being here for that sort of moment. It is a moment in history, particularly for the UK.
Absolutely.
You can see the riders getting lined up for Heat 1.
Yeah, we're straight into the women's pro sprints.
Yeah.
So this is heat number 1 of the women's. Who do we got?
We got April Zilg, Esperanza Barreras, 2 top class female paddlers, and then Chloe Walker-Dean and Irene Nigri. Irene qualified through the Open this morning, so again, great experience for these guys to sort of come here and be able to join and sort of paddle against people that they probably follow, quite frankly. They cheer on and look to for inspiration. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool to see Chloe back in action. She's been out of the scene for a little bit, but her and Kane made the effort to come out here and jump back up on
She's
tour.
From Australia, yeah.
They're both from Australia, so
awesome. We've got a seating start, up they go. You can see that power.
Yeah, and it's always fun to watch April paddle. She's got a lot of that Danny Ching influence. She has a little bit of a slower cadence, but a really deep, powerful stroke.
Yeah.
And compared to a lot of the riders, so you'll see just even from the shot, Esperanza probably is paddling 2 or 3 times
cadence.
to one of April's.
Absolutely, yeah.
So April, a lot of power, very good technique. She's been in such good form this year. I truly believe she's the woman to beat in any event at the moment.
Yeah. No, that's the woman that everyone's sort of chasing at the moment. She's enjoying her sprints this year, I think. Here we go, Esperanza really pushing her, getting in position. So they're approaching their second mark. Esperanza on the outside, April, a slower, wider turn, and that pushes Esperanza out. The outside rider's got to deal with that.
Yeah, we got Chloe in third. as we see the back half trying to play catch up here.
Bit of open water for them to do that.
And it's probably a top 2 advancement if there's 4 people in this.
Yeah.
So it looks like April and Esperanza
battling out. Does not want to.
Well, she knows she's got to make that inside line, right?
Yeah.
So I love the competitiveness right
awesome.
here.
Not taking it easy. Pushing for the win. She's got great position on the inside.
Yep. So she was able to take that inside line.
Now April's going to have the inside on that final turn unless Esperanza can make some space.
Yeah, and this is where the rules come into play. You got to give way.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
little
bit of rubbing as racing, but you can't smash into somebody.
No, sure. You gotta. But this is great. Look at this. We're just in the first heat, and these two going at it. Go on, girls.
Yeah, and there is probably a seeding advantage to take first or second.
Who's nicked it on the line? We're going to need a camera. I think that may be Esperanza. I don't know.
It did look like Esperanza might have edged her just by a little orange nose.
Joao will be he'll be earning his keep now, assessing who's done that. And here the others come. Here's Chloe. Great job. And Irene. I think this is super cool for people like Irene here. Come here on the open and get a chance to race against these top girls. So I don't want to call that early, but it looks like that was Esperanza that maybe nicked that, followed by April, followed by Chloe, then Irene.
Nice drone shot of the setup we got here this morning.
Yeah, that was cool. I like the determination in that first heat. We're definitely going to have that in this second one.
Yeah, they're lining up already. Who we got in heat number 2?
So heat number 2, with again stacked some great riders here. So Juliette Duhaime, we've got Caroline Kunsel, Holly Pye, Choi Ji-won, and Molly McKibben. I have to declare an interest. Molly McKibben's one of our little riders from Northern Ireland. She's done a great job, was at the Worlds last week and made the effort to come over here, and she's qualified through the open rounds to paddle against the best, so she's super excited to be here. Juliette, she's been doing super well this year. She's up in the charts and the rankings for this tour. So,
yeah, Juliette's chasing some tour points as well. I think she sits 3rd in the rankings.
Yeah.
And again, Candace Appleby isn't here, so she's got a good opportunity
to make ground,
to move up in the rankings. And so I've been spending a lot of time with Juliette, so I know she's ready, she's excited, and it's going to be fun to watch this.
And we've got another UK rider here, Holly Pye, who Holly needs no introduction for the UK scene. She's been sort of a real shining light in that in recent years. Off the back of Poland, supported here by mum and dad today, and Jamie all made the journey up from Devon. We've also got Caroline Kunsel from Denmark, young rider, 19 years old. She just had a fantastic year, coming off a silver in the at the Worlds last week. And really sort of blazing a trail there in Denmark. It's interesting to see how that team's developing. So yeah, so super cool group of paddlers here. Excited to see this one. And I will try to remain completely impartial.
So do we have a full UK heat besides Juliette right here?
No. So Caroline is Denmark, Holly is UK, Molly UK, Choi. I'm afraid I can't tell you.
She could be part. She might be with the Japan team.
Here we go. So as you can see, sitting start, Caroline there. Straight up, Juliette. So as you would expect, Caroline and Juliette are sort of making the charge, and Holly is hot on their heels. Choi and Molly out right on the outside. So Caroline looks like she's getting out fast there. Juliet staying with her, but it does look like Caroline's going to be the first to the turn. Juliet's in a great position here as well.
Yeah, at that start you see Caroline, she popped up so quick and instantly had that paddle in the water. Juliet bobbled just for a second, and that's the difference right there, right? So here goes Caroline.
Oh, it's a wide. She's gone wide.
Yeah, a little bit of a wider turn, but she's doing all right.
That's cool.
Juliet's right there.
There we go, yeah.
Caroline doing a good job staying tight with that buoy to hold off Juliet.
And Holly is right in there.
See Caroline take a look over her shoulder real quick just to check in. But it looks like the top two are really pulling away at this point.
They're starting to pull. This sort of third stretch allows that. It's a little bit, it's probably the greatest distance once you're in the buoys. That sort of diagonal stretch across. So Caroline's safely making that turn. Juliet. And this is it. So Caroline on that last turn. Juliet safely bringing that round. Looking for the 1-2. And there they go. You can see them now cruising to the finish. Well done, girls. Here they come to the finish line. Caroline Cancel from Denmark crossed the line. Juliet Duhaime in second place. And it sounds like there's a battle going on. I can't see on the cameras. Holly coming through in third. And a great job from Choi Ji finishing fourth, and Molly McKibben coming in there just behind them. Fifth place, well done. Well done. Super cool.
Yeah, and they'll get another shot in the repo. And it looks like Caroline and Juliet will move directly into the next round.
Cool, so we're in the repechage. We've got the Heat 1. So with the repechage, we've got 3 riders in each. So this will be interesting. It's going to be a tight battle with 3 riders out in the water.
Yeah, so we're going back to men's
Yeah.
heat, so straight into the men's repechage. Heat number 1.
The Blue Ewer of the UK, Dan Miller, Canada, and Bruce Smith, also UK. Remember, Bruce again came through that open, so yeah. You see it on your screens, Holly stepping off here.
I like that. The board caddy pulled her board to the dock.
Yeah.
That's
Jamie there.
I need a dock caddy.
Yeah. That's teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
The home point tip has been updated.
I remember I've volunteered my services as board caddy for many a pro rider. I'm like, I'm here, guys. I'm here for you.
I am here.
Yeah, so Blue Ewer, Dan Miller, and Bruce Smith. So 2 UK riders, 1 Canadian. And yeah, we're going to see how that goes. It's going to be tough. Blue finishing 9th in the sprints of the Worlds last week over in Poland. Like, I spoke to him afterwards, he was like a little bit disappointed almost, but like delighted all at the same time. It's one of those things where he sort of got to the final and you've got that chance and sort of hope for that sort of moment.
A final appearance.
It's tough.
A final appearance is a good one, and you know, at that point, everyone's really good, and it comes down to a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see him straight back into it.
Yeah. So this is a good chance for him, I think, to show what he's absolutely made of. Up against Dan, Dan is just the man, isn't he?
Yeah, Dan's awesome. You know, he's one of the older dogs, probably the oldest guy in the field this year. You know, I'm in my 40s, and I know Dan's in his 40s. When he comes down to California, we battle it out quite a bit. And you know, Dan gets me fired up that he's, you know, racing in the pros right now, and why shouldn't he?
Yeah, and he's had some trouble with his board this week, which he's sort of been fixing. But that's a look at Blue's start there. Exploded out.
Yeah, so
Dan and Bruce putting it in to keep up, but Blue really is pulling away there. It's a great drone shot of that.
Yeah, and Blue's cadence is pretty wild.
Yeah.
He's got a good technique. And Dan right behind him. So I don't know if they're taking 1 or 2 out of these heats, but it might be only 1.
Yeah.
So
I
Blue
think
with a little sense of urgency.
Maybe the first 4 into the final and the second 4 into in a semi, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Or final B. Yeah,
So
but
Blue
Blue's
really separating himself right there.
right
Really
in
nice
his JP.
paddling.
If anyone's out there, I think Blue posted the other day that I think he's going to be selling his board after these APP events. So if you want to see if you can paddle this fast, maybe get in touch with him.
Dropping those DMs.
Yeah. Look at Dan, doesn't want to give it up. Go on, Dan. But yeah, no, Blue's taking a nice command of this. Coming up to the penultimate turn. And Bruce from the Northern Sup race team here in the UK representing. This is awesome for him. I know how much he'll love this. He's got Karen with him here cheering him on at the side. Blue's family here as well, I know. His mum and sister are shoreside giving him all the support. So yeah, here he goes, cruising over the line. Well done, Blue. Cheeky look over the shoulder as well.
Yeah, it gives the look back.
Yeah.
I always like that.
Well done, Dan. Great job.
Yeah,
Troy
Dan,
and Millie
all
will
the
be
way
watching
from
at
Canada.
home. Awesome. And Bruce, great job, buddy. Love it. Well done.
He's stoked.
He's loving that. Yeah, that means a lot to, guys like that who just love it. Come along, turn up, get a chance to paddle with the best in the world. Super cool. So this is an interesting one. Tim, so heat 2, we've got Sergio Cantoral, Will Keatley and Tim Oliver. Tim, I wasn't sure, I thought he was a DNS on the first round, so we'll just see if he is going to be joining that start line. But otherwise, the Sergio and Will, we're looking at 2 young riders. Sergio just back off the Worlds in Poland as well. Spanish rider again, just watching that team, it's been impressive to see all on their sort of NSP boards. Really sort of pushing the envelope there. Will's just taken delivery of a Infinity, hasn't he? Whiplash.
Yeah, I think we just welcomed Will aboard the Infinity UK team.
Yeah,
so
cool.
That's an
It's exciting for him.
addition there.
Super stoked.
And looks like he's borrowing Shrimpy's board.
Ah, cool.
So,
okay, there we go.
Little team spirit there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Sharing the stoke. So yeah, no, I think as earlier on, I think Tim did not start. So it looks like this is a head-to-head. The 2 young boys who are really starting to make some waves. It's cool. Will and Sergio.
Yeah, and Team Spain has really put the world on notice. They've been, they've just been out there representing and doing really well. And
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of paddling energy coming out of Spain, even in the juniors.
The juniors was what really impressed us. I mean, we just noticed in one semi-final of the technicals last week, like it was semi-final of 9 paddlers, 8 of which were Spanish juniors.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, right?
It's crazy. So, they mean business, and they're definitely letting the world know they're here. Here they go. Huda goes.
Oh, Will got up pretty quick, but he bobbled just for a second. Both paddling pretty hard.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. And there's only these two. It's like who can make the fewest mistakes. So right there, Sergio with that whole shot.
So he's made the buoy. Will tucking himself in.
Yep, Will hopping on that draft, trying to surf up towards Sergio. Let's see how Sergio's first buoy tune. He kind of runs into the buoy there. Slows down just a little bit. See if Will could take advantage of that at all.
Just miss Will out the shot, but it looked like that was a smooth turn.
Sergio being a little bit more careful on this one to make sure he gets a clean turn. Will staying aggressive. Looks like he might have made a little headway there.
Yeah.
Will's got to jump on this draft as good as he can. Didn't fully complete the turn, so he goes a little wider.
Those little, one missed turn stroke there, maybe.
Sergio could feel him though. You see him look over his shoulder,
Will's making a charge.
Yeah, and Will's in a good spot. He's out of Sergio's draft, so he's got clean water. So it's not a bad position there, but he's really got to accelerate to try to meet him at this buoy. Sergio with his heel side turn, much cleaner. There's Will as well, nice turn there.
Yeah, well done. So round the last buoy.
Oh look, Sergio's switch stance buoy turning. He just
nice.
did I'm impressed with that. He must be a windsurfer.
Yeah.
You'll see Connor do that from time to time. All the windsurf guys, they really got that.
Switch
double
stance. Side. Yeah, that's cool. So they're cruising in now. Sergio being chased down by Will Keatley of the UK. But Sergio is going to take that in first, and Will there through the finish line in second. It's cool. I like those head-to-head battles.
Yeah, that was a good battle.
Yeah.
Like even though the finish wasn't as close as it looked, the race was more competitive than the final result ended. But that was fun. Head-to-head battle. Sergio, congrats to him. He'll move on. And Will, his first taste of the pro scene, pro junior coming straight into the APP World Tour, so lots of cool experience for him.
And he's coming off the back as well. I mean, it's been pretty stacked. He's had events in Denmark, then Poland, and then straight to here. So, it's been intense for a lot of these guys. There's been a lot of paddling, but also a lot of travelling, and it just sort of does take a toll.
Life on tour, baby.
Yeah.
Life on tour.
Yeah. And that's all part of, 17. Getting all that experience, it's super cool. Make him even stronger next year. So I believe there are 2 more heats in the repechage, and heat number 3, the guys are starting to line up. Shrimpy, Kane, and Daniel Perez.
Look for Shrimpy to get a little angry this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel he's got to be disappointed. Obviously, his heat was stacked, but Shrimpy's one of those guys that he seems to have an extra gear when he wants it.
Okay.
And it's going to be fun to watch the starting line. And cool. Kane is he's pretty new to the pro racing.
Yeah.
He's been paddling, for quite a long time, but it hasn't been like competitive on this level. But he's really fit. I believe he's a personal trainer back home, so he's like one of those guys that are really jacked. And he's a smaller guy, but very fit. And those are the guys that always seem to be really good at sprinting. So Shrimpy and Kane right there getting ready. Is this a head-to-head battle, or is it?
Looks like there's only 2 on the water at the moment.
Okay, so this will be a test for Kane. I'm stoked to see him. Kane did a post on Facebook or on Instagram. Stoked to be here.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain. And
yeah.
So I think that's a great approach to take. His first APP event.
I got a brief moment with him before he went out earlier on, and I'm going to shout out, and I hope I don't get the name of this town wrong, but he wanted to shout out to Kalbari in Western Australia, his like hometown. Pretty rough year. Cyclone ripped through it last year, so he's sending a lot of love back home there. So that's. But yeah, no, he's super stoked to be here, and it's going to be fun but tough. Shrimpy is the young buck, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah,
well, he's cool.
He's been, he's been on the scene since he's 15.
15, yeah.
And originally he showed up, beating all the veterans in the downwind races, and people were like, "Who's this little kid from Japan?"
Even Carolina Cup this year, wasn't he?
And that's the thing. Like, he started out mostly as a downwind guy, and then he's really rounded out his act, and he was in the lead pack with the Carolina Cup.
We're going to do the next heat. Then we're going to take a short break to fix some buoys. Next heat, then short break to fix some buoys.
Okay.
All right, sounds like we're going to run this heat and then take a little break after the Shrimpy Kane battle. We're going to reset the buoys. There's a little bit of wind. This is the most wind I've felt here since in London.
It's interesting where we are. Like it's a business district, like old disused docks where the sort of import-export business would have been rife hundreds of years ago. 1806 this was built, this dock. And now here we are on very different types of craft.
Yeah, so
here they go, there's the Hooter, and they're up.
Take off.
Pretty even start there.
So it's Kane in the white top, Shrimpy in the red. And they're going at it.
Yeah, this is a good battle. So Shrimpy on the outside, obviously Kane on the inside. Shrimpy's going to edge him just a bit. Kane's got to give way. So Kane's sticking on his draft. Oh, and Kane
just missed
gets a little bit steered right out of the draft there. He's going to have to dig deep to get over that draft hump.
Shrimpy smoothly round that first buoy turn.
Changing plans. They're going to finish the men's repo. And then they're going to take a quick break to fix a buoy.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see Shrimpy, he's on the Blackfish, which is more of a, ocean board.
Yeah.
And Kane on a flat water board.
Yeah.
And that's the difference you see right there. Like the flat water boards, the noses stay in the water, so they can get a little tricky when you're in the draft. You got to pay more attention. That's what happened to Kane. He kind of pulled his nose out of the draft, and then after that, it's basically Shrimpy pulling away. And, the planing hulls, they're more forgiving.
Yeah.
And they jump out of the water quicker. And you can see right there.
Yeah, Shrimpy knows he's just, you can just see him ease up a little gear there. He knew he had the space to just make sure he's safely on board, stay dry, bring it home. But that's definitely a mark of intent there. Kane really pushed him up that charge. But yeah, you see the importance of staying in there.
There's a whole can right there.
Well done, Kane. And Shrimpy's through.
I think the word got out. There's free Red Bulls in the announcer booth. We got people coming in.
Yeah. That's good. Pretty tight.
Yeah.
Brucey boy needs to get fired up with the Red Bulls.
He's loving it. Getting them out the Red Bull can. Cool.
He selected the tropical flavor too.
Nice.
God.
Tested that last night.
There we go.
Yeah.
We tested a few of those, didn't we? Yeah, we'll give a shout out to the Pergola hosting the
yeah, they did well.
The party last night, and the free Red Bull cocktails were flowing.
So this is now the final repechage of the men's, and the free riders we have here are Natapat Koman, Hector Jessel and Hang Seong Ho.
Yeah, and it looks like all three riders are riding more of a flat water style board, which is kind of cool. Kind of evens out the field, I would say. I like the displacement. I mean, more the planing hulls for specifically sprinting. So, if you have all the same boards kind of design, kind of evens it out a
Evens
little
it
bit.
out, yeah. We're all on the same equipment. There's the Huda. And up they go. I was speaking to some of the riders, that sitting start was posing a challenge to a few of them. Not something they've perhaps practiced enough.
Absolutely, that's something you have to practice. On the APP, every sprint race is a sitting start.
yeah.
I think even actually every race is a seating start because it definitely it causes less false starts.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get a clean, fair start.
So Natapat and Hang Seong out in front here. Hector not far off. This is going to be interesting. He's taken a slightly wide angle and approached that first buoy turn, but that's helped him get across the rider.
Oh, leaves the door open a little
He's
bit.
come in. That's a great take on the inside there.
And that's a good read because if you noticed in blue, it was a heel side turn, which is generally a little easier, quicker for people. So, but look, able to hang on. I love their paddling on the other side of the board.
Oh, yes.
Which is
This
legal.
is racing, yeah. This is a great show from these two. Go on. Back and forth. So this is interesting, again, being on the back of his board there, it's sort of nudging him.
This is getting it's getting a
spicy.
little dicey
So
at the buoy turns.
Hector's looking at this and he's saying, can I get through a gap?
Yep, and we'll see how they call that. They've been getting a little more strict on the buoys. I'm not sure if you're allowed to put your board on top of the other board anymore. Back in the day, you used to be able to just shove it through the legs.
Yeah.
There is a right-of-way rule, so it'll be interesting to see
how they. Yeah, Zhao's got a job to do on this one, but these three guys, none of them want to give this up. Hector's made a lovely little comeback with the fighting around the buoys. He could be even pushing for second spot here. This is Nadapat that's leading. So he's going to take that. Hector Jessel comes through with second place. So I think there will be a discussion.
And the two guys battling the most was Team Japan. So
yeah.
There was a fierce battle right there.
Yeah, that's. So I don't know if we were on when we were talking about Zhao, who's come across from the ISA as the sort of adjudicator and race director here. It's good to see the riders there, still fist bumping, still full of respect. That's cool. Okay, I believe they're now just taking a little break after the men's repechage to reset a buoy. Yeah. You got a little skyline vista of where we are. So they're bringing up on screen these are the results of the women's repechage. Chloe Walker-Dean, Holly Pye, Irene, Choi Ji-won and Molly McKibben. Getting your skyline vista of the Isle of Dogs, or Canary Wharf as it's now more internationally known, the hub of the London financial system, the engine room.
The drone shots, always love the drone shots.
Yeah. So yeah, little break just before the women's repechage starts. Yeah, cool. And we're getting some wider shots, so you can actually see just over the back of the Docklands Water Sports Centre where we are now is the River Thames, and tomorrow there will be a distance race for the pros out on that, which is, I think, is always great for the riders. That sort of iconic paddle through central London. It's a fast flowing river. You're not normally, you can't just rock up and put your board on the River Thames. The Port of London Authority would not appreciate that, so permission is granted, and this is a special event done with great consideration of events going on around us. Obviously the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, so there will be a very respectful passage through central London tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's a pretty incredible paddle to get, like, you got to imagine you're racing, trying to win and compete, but you're trying to soak it in too, right?
Yeah,
see all the sights, see all the bridges.
Yeah.
You're passing
Houses of Parliament, the Big
you're
Ben.
passing full-on landmarks.
From the previous heat, judges are reviewing something from the previous heat.
Okay.
Yeah, and just as suspected, we just got informed that from the last heat they are checking the replay about the buoy we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's going to come into play because the last couple years they've really been trying to crack down on what is legal, what's fair, what is allowed.
Yeah.
There is rubbing, so to speak, but I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to put a board on top of another board anymore.
No.
Back in the day, it was like free for all, and everyone just ram each other. And I've had plenty of boards in my day come through my legs.
Aggressive, and it was part of the. It was part of the.
And as far as I understand it, it's a right away, kind of like a car thing. So whether you're on the outside or the inside, whoever's noses crosses that buoy first, you have to give way to the other person, even if you have the inside, and give room.
Yeah.
It's like a impeding progress rule.
Yeah, and there's a few. I don't know if they'll have the shots, but there's good sort of graphics around now that are sort of starting to show that, because it's actually, you've got to start. The riders have got to make that assessment in the approach as well, because it's you've got to be. There's so much to think about in such a tight spot where you're sort of thinking about where am I positioned and relative to the other riders.
The call was blue, then red. Rubbing is racing, rubbing is racing.
Okay. So we're just going to double check that information coming through on what the call was.
Yeah, we got a word that there was a disqualification rule, blue on red.
So Han Seong-ho has taken the win. Hector Jessel confirmed second, and Natapat Koman third.
So I don't think did it actually affect the results?
No, I think Blue was the lead rider, wasn't it, coming through?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But a penalty has been assessed, so definitely setting a precedence to let all the other athletes know that there is a reminder.
Yeah.
Rubbing is not always racing. You got a good look of the dock line. That's the start. You can see they're just doing a retooling of the buoys, getting the course set up for these important final heats. And we could hear the race director calling the athletes. Who do we got coming up next?
So Chloe is back on, Chloe Walkerdine, Aussie rider. We've also got Holly Pye from the UK, Irene Negri, Choi Ji-won and Molly McKibben. So this is the repechage for the APP Pro Sprints Women. And what will happen here is third, fourth, fifth in this next race will go through to the consolation final, and those placing 1, 2 will go 1 and 2 will go into the final with the already qualifiers of Esperanza, Caroline, April and Juliet. So this is going to be a fun race where there's still a lot to play for these riders, so there's some motivation to make the final here.
Yeah, and you'll see just on the screen there they showed quarter men's, so they might have switched up the
Okay, the
playlist.
playlist.
So we'll wait to see what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, indeed, we are going to the women's repechage. You can see the ladies lining up right now.
There's Holly in the white top there. Is it Holly? Yeah. Holly Pye in the zone, getting in the zone there.
Yeah, list them off. Who we got again?
So Chloe Walkerdine, Aussie rider, Holly Pye, UK, Irene Negri, Choi Ji-won, and Molly McKibben. Once again, I will try and remain impartial.
I love it. It's all right, man. It's all right to.
It's all right to root.
We're all friends here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I like you all, girls.
Yeah,
You're
come
all
on.
Awesome. No, this will be a good race, as we were saying. Still lots to play for here. So those that finish first and second are going to qualify for the final. So it's all to battle for in this one, and the third, fourth, fifth placings will go into a consolation final or a final B. So plenty of racing for these ladies still to come. Here they are, sitting on the boards at the ready. There's the Hooter. Chloe looking like she's got a good start there.
Yep, Chloe on the inside there. Jumps out to a quick little lead. Looks like yellow and white are catching up to her.
Yeah,
Blue hanging in there as well.
White is Holly. Choi Ji-won in that yellow.
Yeah, and it looks like Chloe's doing a good job. She's angling a little bit to the right. Maybe
forcing them to go a bit wider.
Yep, forcing a little bit of a wider line so she could keep that lead there. Yellow's doing a good job on that side draft.
Yeah.
And it looks like Yellow's...
She's really determined to try and make that boy first.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. So Chloe has the inside. Red gets to it first, though, so Chloe lets her go. So that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. No impeding progress. Let's see if Chloe could jump in. Looks like Yellow's... Oh, she hits the buoy there.
Nose on the buoy.
There must be, the wind must be a factor, because now we've seen that in the women's and the men's in 2 heats in a row. So the wind must be blowing a little bit harder than it looks on the screen.
Funneled through the buildings, and yeah, you can see it sort of blowing across here slightly.
Yeah, because I could definitely feel the wind where we are.
Yeah.
But sometimes on camera it always looks a little glassier than it actually is.
So Choi Ji-won really putting it on in this race. So here she comes, penultimate buoy. Chloe in behind her, followed by Irene making a charge past, and there's Holly, and there's Molly McKibben there from Northern Ireland. But Choi Ji-won has really taken hold of this one, and she is pushing hard to that final. Well done, Choi.
There must be a big battle for second. So
can't see from the screen, but yeah. No,
okay,
Chloe.
there's a shot right there.
Chloe is taking that second spot.
Yeah, it looks like Chloe's going to hang on for second, and the battle for third.
And Holly is taking over Irene there on that last charge. That is a good charge from Holly there, because she was behind her going into those last two turns. Molly McKibben coming across there in fifth. Great racing there from the girls. And Choi Ji-won, well done. And Chloe Walker-Dean, you've both made yourself a place in the final. Awesome. Okay. So coming up is the first heat of the men's quarterfinals. Again, starting to get the business end of this. I think you're getting your vista of Canary Wharf again, but here you go. Rai Taguchi, Daniel Hazulio, Arthur Arutkin and Sergio Cantoral. So Sergio, the young Spanish rider, this is a great opportunity for him to make a mark against some established names, guys that have...
Yeah, we just saw Sergio qualify through the repo, so it's good to see him in the quarters. So he's actually raced twice, and all the other guys have only raced once.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, that you called it the business rounds. I mean, Arthur, Rai,
and Daniel.
I mean, those are top names in the sport.
Yeah.
One of those guys are, their sprint run's going to end right here. So this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, none of these guys will want to give that up. They're just making.
There it is again. The board caddy. I need one of those.
Definitely.
I've been missing out.
That is actually.
Oh look, tandem holding.
That's Josh Reddy, a good friend of Molly's there.
2 hands, 1 hand.
Very kind.
There's Arthur Arutkin right there, the Frenchman.
You see the guy in the glasses speaking into a phone there. That is Joao Mella,
the race director himself.
The race director. So he was super stoked when we were speaking to him last night to be here and having the opportunity to do this. He's had to make some calls already. He's earning his keep today.
And he came all the way from Portugal. I haven't seen him in a while. It's good to catch up with him.
He said he's over in Puerto Rico as well for the ISA Worlds.
Yeah. He goes to a lot of events, so it's good to have a vet on staff.
Yeah. Well, that's what, as I say, he's got to make those big calls. Someone's got to do that, like we had earlier in the men's there. There's a shot of Rai with his headband.
I love the headband look.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sergio.
Yeah. Sergio in
yellow. Wants to make an upset.
And we've got Arthur there in the back in the blue top. And Daniel there.
With those signature glasses and tight speed pants. That is a Hazulio signature moment.
Signature moves.
I love the Hazulio brothers. Such funny guys, like such awesome guys to hang out with. They're always super positive and full of energy. And, guys like that are good for the sport. Just the Hazulios. And here we go, up and riding. Let's see, Rai gets the jump. Oh, Arthur falls in. That is amazing.
That's
so Arthur falls in on the start. Too bad for him, but Rai out like a flash. Looks like Daniel in second.
Daniel is not letting him have too much.
That is so uncharacteristic for Arthur Arutkin. He's so bummed. He's not even leaving the dock. He's paddling back because he knows he is out of this race. No mistakes can be made.
It's frustrating for the riders.
Oh, he's bummed.
Yeah, he'll know. But here comes Rai to that first buoy. Smooth step backs. Same from Daniel. Daniel just doing well to keep his board just off the back of Rai's there.
Rai Taguchi has great shot. I love the footwork. Nice cross-stepping forward and back. Daniel Hazulio staying right there. Sergio's
Sergio's
still
holding his
sticking
own, he's
around.
sticking with him. This is, we talk about these young guys coming through, having this chance on things like the APP World Tour to paddle against the likes of Ryan Daniel. I mean, this is awesome for Sergio personally. Great experience. And he is doing more than holding his own. Daniel turning on the penultimate there, trying to get the nose round, back of right. It looks like right, short of losing momentum. It's going to take first place. Rai is here being supported by his dad. Ginki, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, but Ginki, his father, is shoreside cheering him through and over the line. Well done, Rai. And Daniel cruising through into second.
And
Daniel was shouting out to
Sergio.
Sai and Jasmine, his girls over in Portugal. Sticking
Oh
yours.
yeah, because it's on the thing, huh?
Yeah, good smooth racing there.
For three of them.
Yeah,
So,
no,
the story right there is Arthur Rukin
Yeah.
falling at the start and unable to even give it an effort.
yeah, uncharacteristic. And as you say, super experienced. He's walking past us now, and I don't think he'll mind me saying that his face definitely displayed frustration. You can understand that.
All right, and it sounds like we're going to get an interview with Rai, with Holly down on the dock. You can see Holly right there with the microphone waiting for Rai to come. So we're going to throw it down to Holly here and hear from the heat winner, Rai Taguchi from Japan.
We're not on yet. Okay, that was just after quarterfinal number 1 for the men's, and I'm here with quarterfinal number 1 winner, Rai Taguchi. Hello, Rai.
Hi, I'm happy. Yeah.
Brilliant. And Rai's a bit of a favourite for the sprints today, aren't you, Rai? Do you feel good?
Yeah, I feel good. So good.
And how are you feeling for the semi-final?
Semi-final. Semi-final. I first, number 1.
Yeah.
Gold.
Brilliant. He's going to win, I think. Go on, Rai. Okay, back to you in the studio.
All right, well, thank you, Holly, for that interview. Rai Taguchi, congratulations. We will see him coming up here soon. And we're straight back into it. Another heat
Second
underway.
quarterfinals.
Who we got coming in?
So we have Christian Andersen from Denmark, Tom Orber, Ivan de Frutos, and Blue Ewer. There you go, you've got your list appearing on your screens now if you're watching this live. Christian Andersen, Tom Orber, Ivan de Frutos and Blue Ewer. So again, another young Spanish rider there in Ivan, getting a chance to place with, again, some young riders, but it's still experienced. Christian has spent a lot of time on the tour. Blue has had a very good season this year, and Tom, a very experienced paddler. So there they are, getting lined up in position. You can see Ivan just on the far side there in the light blue on the NSP board, slightly back off the line there, so I think there's a little bit of adjustment. You'll see the little leg swirls just to position their boards in the right line. There's the horn, and up they go. Christian popping up quick there. Blue to Tom, getting squashed in the middle of two riders. That's a tricky bit of water to be in.
Yeah, and you can see right here, Christian's got that signature, side stance where everyone else seems to have more of that parallel stance.
Yeah, he's definitely gone straight into the offset. Blue, the same. Christian offset on the right, blue on the left, and blue's just lost a little ground there, tucking in now behind Tom.
Yeah, in the offset stance, you know, some people like to take that approach, opens up your hips a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you can stay on one side and paddle a little bit longer and get more of a, you know, deeper, longer reach and catch.
And I think that's it. That, you know, if you choose that stance in this sort of competition, you've really got to try and hold that first place, because if you get in the wake of someone, a bit of a bounce, and you need to swap sides, it's just a bit more awkward to sort of paddle over your shoulder like that if you're already offset. But here they go. Christian's making some good ground here. Tom is not letting him go anywhere though, and is sitting very nicely behind him. Blue making a charge back to join those lead two.
Yeah, and it's also fun to see the
Well
different
done, Blue. It's
choices
a
in board design as far as flat deck versus a dugout. Christian, you can see, has a very flat deck.
Gone a bit wide on that last turn, Christian, but I think he's got enough. Blue, in trying to get past Tom on the inside there, has just taken a tumble. So that is going to leave Christian cruising through, but Tom is not going to let him take this easy going into the finish. Christian through first, Tom Aubert second, and I think it is going to be Ivan de Frutos third and Blue Ewer fourth, just after a little tumble trying to make ground on that last turn. There he comes through.
Yeah, and I love that they, you know, there's some falling in happening because they know it's do or die at this point.
Yeah.
And you gotta go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely where it gets fun. But tough as well, right? That's tough to take Blue. You know, I know he's not going to be happy. He'll have wanted to be there in that final. There's Tom going past your screen there. He'll be very pleased with that. Who are you looking at now? Look at that. That is Ivan, the young Spanish rider. Yeah, look at that. Welcome to London.
It's a cool shot right there.
That's cool, yeah. So that's if you're watching the live stream, you've got a westerly view of London here, looking towards central London. I think my son is off to have a little look. You see the Shard in the sort of centre there, just to the south of the river. The new pinnacle of the London skyline.
All right, looks like we're going to the sideline with Holly and Christian Anderson.
Okay, I'm here with Christian Anderson after quarterfinal 2 for the men's. It was very close there, Christian. How was it?
It was good, you know, just getting a good rhythm and starting to feel good. It was a close battle with Tom. He's my teammate, and I'm stoked. On to the semis.
And how are you feeling about the semis?
I feel good. I feel strong, and I'm just ready to go. I'm excited.
Hey, good luck, Polar Bear. Off you go. Well done. Back to you guys in the studio.
Holly, well done. Christian, aka Polar Bear Anderson. And congrats to Christian. We will see him in the men's final. Holly, running the show down there on the dock.
Loving it. Here we go. Heat 3. Back into it. Kaelan Lockhart, Claudio Nika, Clement Comas, Han Sing Ho. This again is a stacked field. Kaelan really showing what he means in the heat earlier on. Taking the win. Claudio Nika hot off, and Clement both hot off Poland. Kaelan as well. These are 3 very strong paddlers. Han Seng Ho is going to have to pull out a performance of a lifetime to get in the mix here. Here we go.
What better time to do it than now
no,
at the APP London Sup Open?
Awesome. I expect a fierce start from these guys. These are Strong, strong paddlers.
Yeah, and these heats are getting stacked, and we're only in the quarterfinals. So you'll see they're doing the sit-down starts. Always a little bit more of a tricky thing to do in a deep dugout board. You can see Claudio.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's practiced this many times with his dugout board, so not a problem with him. But
yeah, Clement in the same sort of position there. So we've got, just for you listening, there's the horn going. So that is Claudio Nica here, near side in the white top. Clement Colmes in the blue top. In red, you have Caelan Lockhart on the NSP, and you have Han Sieng Ho on the outside in yellow. And Caelan not letting Claudio run away with this. Clement holding off the back of him.
yeah, Caelan really putting it in deep on the outside there. Claudio settling in, and you'll see these guys are so good. They paddle straight for so long. They didn't switch sides until that buoy turn to hold that line. So Claudio getting that inside. We'll see what happens here with Caelan, but he's going to squeeze on by. And Clement, nice little move on the inside right there.
That was super tight and very nicely done.
And you can see right there Claudio with the technique. You saw him use his knees and time the chop and kind of jump over that. I love seeing all the technical things that happens within the race. And these three guys are basically virtually tied. Caelan's going to get this inside unless Claudio could put on the little bit of a bobble there. Oh, and Caelan goes down.
Caelan is in, and there's another little ball bump.
Clement stays out of all the mess and comes away clean on the outside.
So Claudio making that last turn first. Clement just on the inside of him there, and now it's hammer down. Who's got the last yards? This is Clement trying to really, you can see him throwing that down. Can he make those yards? This is going to be super tight. Clement and Claudio going at it. I would not want to be calling that Zhao. It's got to be over to you. And there's Caelan coming in third.
Yeah, so Caelan's going to be disappointed with that one. He is right in the mix.
Yeah. And Han Sieng Ho coming over the line there in fourth.
Battery level is low.
Great job.
The aircraft will go to the home point in 10 seconds.
So quarterfinal, men's quarterfinal number 1. Or was that
was
number 4?
That was 3. So we're going to go into number 4, heat 4, which is the final of the quarterfinals.
Yeah, is there a repechage app for these guys as well, or is this it?
So my understanding is after quarterfinals it is semi-finals, which are 2 semi-finals of 4 riders, following which there is a consolation final for the 3rd and 4th placed semi-finalists.
So these guys go into a consolation.
Yeah, and then the final for the others. So yeah, but here we go. We are.
This next heat's a banger. Connor Baxter, Isel Delgado,
Ludovic Toulard,
and Shrimpy Arakaki. So this one's going to be interesting here.
We're going to have a starboard, 2 infinities. Was Ludovic on an NSP earlier?
He has that. He's got that new SIC
he's on the
board.
SIC. Yeah, here we go. The XRS. A lot of people going holotech. We've seen you guys have brought out the Whiplash.
Yeah, it's our first hollow board we've offered, and it's pretty cool. And I think it suits certain designs really well.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like we're throwing it down to Holly yet again with Claudio Nica, winner of the men's quarterfinal number 3. Holly, take it away.
Okay, I'm here with winner of quarterfinal number 3, Claudio. That was so close at the end. How was that?
Well, that that's a tough race. It looks short, but it's not. With all these turns, it's quite hard. I was pushing with Clement in the finish line and got first, and now I'm ready for the semi-finals.
Brilliant. Okay, great. See you in the semi-finals, Claudio. Back to you, Dave and Ian.
See you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Holly. Claudio, congratulations. We will see him here soon. And Claudio doing what he does.
They're just
sprinting and doing it well.
They're just getting the guys lined up. I don't know, I saw paddlers sort of making their way over towards the race director area. I'm not sure if there will be a challenge or not on that last quarter-final. We'll keep you posted as we hear more of that. In the meantime, that final, the last quarter-final, as Dave has already said, Connor, Itzel, Ludovic and Shrimpy. This is going to be fun. So yeah, those guys are, they're just sort of holding position. I think there might be some questions being asked of the race director at the moment, so they might just be holding this start for a moment whilst they review some footage.
Yeah, you can see the flag starting to blow a little bit harder. There is a little bit of wind starting to show up. It's angled downwind at the start, but once they flip that first buoy, it's pretty much a upwind sprint back to the chicane.
Over in the commentary tent, I'm having to put the jacket on as the wind blows through.
I know, I was starting to feel a little inferior. You know, California boy over here had my jacket on. You're sitting nice and pretty with your t-shirt on, but now I'm feeling pretty good. You gotta throw the jacket on there.
Yeah. Sort of living in Northern Ireland, I'm used to a bit of wind, but you know, gotta dress for the weather. Yeah, the guys are just being held here. There's definitely been a challenge, and I would imagine that's Caden Lockhart challenging just that penultimate turn in the previous race.
Yeah, personally I didn't see much there.
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm not seeing any replays at the moment, so difficult to.
But it's always good to check in and just kind of
totally
assess and see what's going on.
Totally in his rights, and yeah.
But it looks like they're starting to line up. I can see the race director kind of talking to him now, so
yeah,
we should be underway here in just a moment. Connor Baxter, Itzel Delgado, Ludovic Tulad, and Sherry, aka Shrimpy
We're losing our screen.
Arakaki.
The wind has blown our screen over. Dave's on it. Cat-like reactions there from Dave Bain.
Oh, look. There's already discrepancy on the start. You can see.
Where's the line? Connor's nose looks a little bit ahead of.
And that's why we do these sit-down starts. You know, it does make the starts easier to.
Connor's low.
Get a
pumped.
Get
There's
a fair
the horn.
start.
Look at that.
Looks like they're off.
That's a good pop-up from all four riders there. They were all quick up, and then just the power. Connor. So that's Shrimpy in the yellow on the outside, Ludovic Tulard in the blue, Itzel in white, and Connor there just out in front in the red shirt.
Yep, so Connor out in front is going to come to the first buoy. Looks like Ludovic's going to squeeze in at second.
Yeah.
Shrimpy right there. Itzel's made a little bit of ground. He's still hanging on in fourth. Unfortunately, caught in the wash.
So
we'll see what happens
this
here.
is gonna get
Connor,
interesting. So
Ludovic, don't touch that board. He's got his clean. Shrimpy.
It's a super sharp turn around that buoy. I think there's been an adjustment made slightly to that, and here they come back.
Yeah, and here's the stretch where you got to try to make a move because it's a longer stretch before the two tight buoys. So you'll probably see Shrimpy and those guys trying to go on the outside.
So Ludovic doing a good job here of really holding position in the wake of in the draft of Connor. can't see on this screen. Oh, so Shrimpy, look at that. That's an aggressive move. He's gone on the inside there. Itzel cruising round.
Look for Shrimpy to really put on it. Really put it on right here. Watch.
Here he goes.
He seems to have that second gear. Look, there he goes. There goes yellow.
Look at that. Look at the power, the cadence, everything in that. And he wants it. And so Ludovic just coming across him a bit there.
Yep, that's a little strategy. Veering him off to the left.
I mean, Shrimpy is making ground
Look, he's
all the
not
way,
even going to make.
Not even going to go through the gate at this rate. Shrimpy working really hard to get his nose in there. That's.
Wow.
Wow, that is.
That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah. That's
the first time I saw that where he basically missed the.
I mean, you see. I mean, what Ludovic was doing, you see, right? You see people sort of holding their line, and then it's on the person passing them to get past before they can take control. But Shrimpy was definitely in the. We're just.
That was the first time I've seen they had to take literally like a buoy.
Yeah, and put the brake on it again. Yeah.
So that was pretty wild.
That's cool. But
so I know Itzel's going to be disappointed with that.
I'll be interested. I mean, how do you think they'll call?
There's a few moments in that last one, where boards were getting touched and things at the buoy turn. So I'll be curious if.
There's definitely a discussion to be had, I think, around where that is. I mean, Connor is through, right? So Connor takes the win, and the finish between Shrimpy and Ludovic. I mean, I'd like to see that again if they can throw that up. I mean, that was definitely a first for me. And tight, right? I mean, because Shrimpy was definitely starting to sort of pull ahead on the outside. So like he was getting the edge, and
another 15 meters, Shrimpy would have got him.
But it's just who snuck that nose through.
No, it's a savvy race. Move, and that's what you see it in car racing and everything. You know? So
hold your
line.
Good
on him. That
hold your line.
That was super fun to watch.
Yeah, that was cool. The runners and riders warming up on the side. You can see Itzel there walking his blackfish off the water. If you look in the distance there, over by the gate, there's April Zilk getting in the zone.
All right, we got Connor Baxter down with Holly on the dock. Let's check it out.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, I'm here with Connor, winner of quarterfinal number 4 for the men's. Connor, how was that?
Man, that was good. Just getting acclimated to the dry and cold air here. 2 races down, 2 more to go. Let's go.
And so you were kind of ahead of that, and so are you conserving energy, or did you go all out there?
For sure, the start all out, you got to get into that clean water and kind of solidify yourself. Once you get to that first buoy, you can play a little more defense, but about 3/4 of the way, I was able to kind of take it down a notch, kind of settle into a nice pace, and held that lead for the rest of the turns.
And you've done a few races so far, so who are you looking at that's going to be your biggest competition? You're looking very comfortable, I must say, but who are you looking at?
I said it from the beginning, but Rye and Claudio are looking phenomenal out there on the water right now, watching their heats. They look confident, they look stable on their board, and it's really a race to that first buoy. So get to that first buoy, play some defense. Hopefully they're not listening. But yeah, just having some fun and doing the best I can.
Okay, best of luck, Connor, for the semi-finals. Thank you, guys. Back to you.
Holly. Thank you, Holly. Connor, a man on a mission, coming away clean with the win, but we have been informed they are taking a look at that finish between second and third.
Yeah, Shrimpy
so
and
curious
Ludovic.
to see what happens there.
Yeah. That's exciting though. What an exciting finish. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, right? Because you ran out of runway, so it's kind of like an out of bounds type of thing.
Yeah, I'm intrigued how this will be called. This will be a learning for me even.
All right, what's up, you guys? Dave Bainey here, and Ian. And,
Hey, guys.
Yeah, and it's been a fun morning of racing so far. If you guys are just tuning in, you are watching the APP World Tour. We are live from London, and yeah. So give us a little update of what's happened in the last quarterfinal. If you're just tuning in.
So yeah, if you are just tuning in, we had Connor Baxter sort of stormed it out front, but with a little bit of a conversation to be had about some of the action going on behind. So we had Ludovic Toulard and Shrimpy, the young rider there from Japan. So, well, I think initially they're probably going to look at 2 points, right? So first point is going to be the mark turn, the penultimate one. I think there was a coming together, but both riders continued and all seemed in good shape. And then coming off the back of the final turn, Ludovic held his line, which steered both riders off course slightly away from the gate. And Shrimpy was definitely making ground and sort of, I would say, is in a position where the board was starting to get ahead. But both riders had to make a sharp turn, step back, buoy turn to get their boards turned into the gate, because you have to go through the gate to finish. So it looks like maybe a decision is coming.
Yeah, and I
soon.
think the key phrase is impeded progress. That's what I keep coming to, because they basically went out of bounds and almost missed the the chicane.
Yeah.
So he, maybe in theory that's what they're looking. Did he impede Shrimpy's progress to go through the finish line?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's holding him off, which is totally legal. So
yeah.
it's a tricky one.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but it looks like we got the next heat lining up.
Joao once again earning his keep today. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes making some of these decisions.
Yeah, the race director's got a couple calls he's got to make today.
Yeah. So we've got we've got 4 riders on the water.
I think this is semi number 1, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first semi-final. Rai Taguchi of Japan, Christian Andersen of Denmark, Daniel Hazudio of Hungary.
Yep.
Did he paddle under Hungary or Portugal? I know they're.
Yeah, I think he's under Hungary.
Yeah, cool. And Tom Aubert.
Tom Aubert, I believe, is French, isn't he?
Is it? Okay. So Tom put in a storming performance on the last round, as did Christian. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. And Rai and Daniel.
Yeah, and the heat just keep getting more
it's just
competitive.
Yeah.
And it's getting a little more chippy. The last heat you saw him kind of chirping at the start.
This is it. Everyone's more tightly packed. These are all. We're now like filtering the best of the best now, and this is where it means stuff. It means points. It means team spots. It's these are important races for these guys. Christian, we know, we were talking earlier, has sort of done well on this world tour for the APP.
Yeah, him and Rai, they're kind of come up at the same time. Both younger guys, both growing into their bodies. And I remember I saw Christian at the party last night, and I actually haven't seen him in person in a couple of years. And I was like, "Hey man, you've gotten really tall." And we just started laughing. And I'm like, "I don't know if polar bear fits you anymore. We got to come up with a little something less cute." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe." He's like, "Let me know what you come up with." I'm like, "Oh, you got it."
Well, if you're watching this at home, you know what you need to do now. If any suggestions of Christian Andersen's new nickname to replace the polar bear.
Exactly. But polar bear's a good one. So we'll see, because Rai, Christian, Hasulio, and Aubert.
Yeah,
this is going to be a tough one.
This is a packed heat. I wouldn't want to call this. Here we go.
Yep, so Rai's been looking in really top form. Christian and Tom finished basically neck and neck.
Really strong in their previous rounds. So yeah.
And Daniel's been, I don't want to say a surprise because he's one of the best paddlers on the planet, but he's mostly known for his distance stuff, but he's been looking really freaking fast off the line. So this is going to be a fun one to watch here.
Well, he's coming off the back of great performance in Poland as well, you know.
Yeah, and you know the Husulio brothers are notorious for their training regimen.
Yeah.
You know, and even Itzel Delgado's on the program that their mom.
That's right. Yeah,
You know, the mom.
They spent a lot of time.
Is it called Sepia?
Sepa.
Sepa training, and so yeah, Itzel's on that same program, and I've seen his progression with that training do really well for him. So
if you are watching at home, I would really recommend like following a lot of these guys individually on social media. They're you know, some of the stuff you see them do, like the Julios and Itzel as well, some of the stuff they were doing, riding, you know, paddling, surfing the wake of the ferries, and was that in Hungary that they were doing that? Or,
I think it was at in Bruno's, where he lives. I believe he lives in Spain right now.
Okay, right, yeah.
And Itzel spent some time with them, and they were training, and you're right, they're
Some
surfing
great
the wake
stuff.
and doing a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I believe Daniel actually lives in Thailand.
Daniel lives in Thailand. He was actually, so between Poland, he went to Portugal, just to have a couple of rest days with the family there. Yeah. And so when I was speaking to him earlier in the week, he was very excited to get back and have a couple of days with his girls, Sai and Jasmine, his daughter. I think he was.
Yeah, we're just on a little pause right here as they sort out the altercation, let's say.
Yeah, the race director and one of the coaches, just maybe a fuller explanation of what decision has been made. I've actually not been made aware yet of what the decision is.
Yeah, I think overall the result will probably remain the same, but
yeah,
it's a good thing that they looked it over, because that was the first time I've seen that.
Yeah.
So it might be something to look for in the future events.
Maybe more discussions on that. It seems to be Shrimpy's coach that is sort of having this discussion at the moment, which would tell me that the finish of Ludovic's second and Shrimpy third has probably held. So it's probably just a little discussion just to clarify and make sure that they fully understand the reason. You know, like, it's a learning point for everyone, isn't it? You know, if we're in that scenario again, what have we got to do?
Yeah, and I just got word that Tristan will be interviewed by Holly here in just a moment to explain what the call was, and I don't know which way they went yet, but we'll all find out here soon.
Yeah.
And there's a shot of the finish line right there. So obviously we got a great look at the finish line to see if anything could happen there. And we got the replays, and I think they're just looking over the replays right now, and kind of I can see them explaining to the athletes the situation. So sit tight, we'll get that
It's
confirmation.
super cool. I mean, you guys can't see this just with the screen at the moment, but you can imagine, you know, you've got a lot of the strong paddlers. They're in a bit of downtime. We've got some guys sort of stretching out. We've got others that are sort of maybe just trying to keep warm, keep loose, you know, hanging with friends and family. Super cool. And just where we were talking about Daniel a minute ago, Daniel Husulio. I took a super sweet moment earlier on, just before he was sort of registering and signing up, that he was getting like a little voice message from his daughter Jasmine, and just you know, like really, and he gets, you know, it's nice to see those sort of human touches. So often we see the athletes, the sort of machines that they are in race mode, and so sort of seeing them on that downtime and that human side is super cool.
Well, I can attest, dad strength is a real thing.
Oh, yes, it is real. It's a new superpower.
Superpowers indeed.
Yeah.
You see Holly jumping around. She's trying to stay warm like I am.
Someone send a jacket down to Holly. Come on. You can see that flag beside her blowing a hoolie.
Yeah, all of a sudden the clouds have covered the sun.
Yeah.
Here comes the wind. It's getting a little bit more ominous.
Although the angle you're being shown at home, it's look, someone's showing off on a blackfish there. But yeah, no, that shot is deceptive. There are a few more clouds over us at the moment than
it's almost like the weather's taking a tone with the ominous setting of the race. You know, it's all culminating to this final.
The tension is mounting. That'd be a great thing next year. Get David Attenborough to come and do the the commentary.
Yeah,
That sort of.
I would welcome that.
vibe.
Open
That'd be cool.
arms. Yeah, and I could see an angle. I could see Tristan, the race director. They just explained to Shrimpy what happened. Now they're explaining to Ludovic. I can't tell either way what's happening, but they're all getting explained the scenario.
That white pyramid tent that you can see in front of you, it's all happening sort of just to the right of that at the moment.
Yep, and there's the scene.
Look at that.
We actually had some pretty exciting open racing this morning.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, not a giant turnout, but a very competitive one.
Competitive one, and from people from all over. You know, we've got people from Spain, all over the UK, bit of an Irish contingent. Yeah, Aussies in there.
Yeah, what was really cool is we got some qualifiers from the opening rounds.
Yeah.
You know, get to test themselves against the pros as a wild card.
That's a great experience. We were talking to a couple of those earlier, so like Josh Reddy, Molly McKibben, Bruce Smith. There's a Loopy Lisa, who we met today, and Amy Fuller, all got a chance there in the open, loving the experience. They're of Sup Fitness up in Nottingham. And they wanted to actually shout out to Cassie, one of their founders, who's over in Holland at the moment on the 11 City. So the paddle community all supporting each other in various events that are going on this September.
Yep, here we go. We got a new follow cam angle.
Yeah,
Juliet Duheim.
Juliet throwing the shackers.
Throwing the shakas as always. Yeah, so it's pretty impressive. We pulled this race site together last minute to carry on with the event.
Yeah.
Got to give it up to APP World Tour. You know, can only imagine the hoops they had to jump through for us to be here today.
I think it is, you know, it's important. I think we've spoken about this a lot, just in and around the grounds and the crew, and obviously with Queen Elizabeth and the events surrounding her death. It's, you know, it's been a careful balance to say, but we would all, I think, agree here in the UK that if there was one woman who would talk to you about enduring and keeping going and life goes on, the Queen Elizabeth espoused that sort of mentality. So yeah, it's whilst it's a sad time, it is time to pay our respects as well. This is interesting how paddlers deal with this sort of the little delays, little sort of unexpected interruptions, and how then they sort of keep themselves right. Like you're sort of braced and prepared for a certain setup. It looks like Tristan is making his way towards Holly.
Yes, we did just get the word that Tristan Boxford is down with Holly. We're going to get an explanation of the results. And we're going to drop down to Holly right now, so let's see what happens.
Okay, so we've had to review some race footage. So Tristan's here to tell us about the findings of that. Over to you, Tristan.
Thank you, Holly. Yeah, we basically had two incidents there. One was in the heat with Kaylin Lockhart and Claudio Nica. There was a situation on the third buoy where three athletes came to the buoy about the same time. Claudio was just ahead. Kaylin was catching, but not quite caught enough to be able to get pole position. So obviously it gets kind of caught into that buoy area. As they got there, obviously the boards touched. It put Kaylin a bit off balance and he fell in. But it wasn't a deliberate move. You could tell there wasn't any kind of deliberate action by Claudio or any of the other racers to you know, take an aggressive stance. So that was just rubbing his racing. That was definitely a competitive situation. Unfortunate for Kaylin, but that was the ruling there. The other one was the finish on that last heat where we saw Shrimpy really catching Ludo in that last stretch. Unfortunately, what we saw is that Ludo had the pole position. He had his head down, he was paddling. Shrimpy came in and he was gunning right into him so he could make the arch. But by the time then his board came up against Ludo's, Ludo could no longer put his paddle on the other side of the board. So it ended up meaning that they were a little bit this side of the arch. But it was not really his fault because he couldn't put his paddle on the other side, and you could see right at the end he actually puts it on the other side of the board just to be able to get under the arch. So again, that's a really tight racing, but no like deliberate foul on either athlete's part.
So, a very competitive day of racing so far. We look ahead to the semi-finals. Oh, back to you, Dave, in the studio.
Okay, well, thank you, Tristan. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear exactly what he was saying here in the commentating booth, but I'm assuming he gave the explanation of the ruling of last heat.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd be curious to see what happened. But thank you, Tristan, for explaining that to all the viewers. I'm assuming, if I had to guess, I would assuming that it probably stayed the same.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong, but since I couldn't hear, I'm assuming that it stayed the same.
Yeah, we'll have one of the guys run over in a second, just to explain that out for us, because we didn't get any audio other than Tristan's hand gesticulation.
Okay,
so.
and I did just get it. I did just get the here.
Very good.
The word that it did stay the same.
It stayed the same.
So they looked over it closely, talked to both athletes, and everyone agreed that it stayed the same. So they just got clarity on it, and we can move on.
Okay.
We're going to try to pull up the heats here. But it looks like we're going into men's semifinals. Rai Taguchi, Christian Andersen, Daniel Hasulio, and Tom Aubert. You can see the athletes getting back in the water.
Yeah, we were saying just before that little interlude just how much that little interludes like that impact the actual athletes. You can see a lot of these riders now getting on the water and just having a short blast, getting the muscles moving.
Yep, get a little
getting the feel
stretch.
for the water again. Yeah, it's a disruption, but it has, you know, everyone's got to deal with it and get sharp and ready for the next race, which is going to be imminent.
All right, we're getting the heats set up for you guys. As you can see, we're in the Red Bull tent with the best view in the house.
It's looking good, yeah. As we said earlier on, this is the Millwall dock, and built in 1803, completed in 1883, I believe. So imagine that, digging a hole for 80 years.
It's wild, just like the history. You know, we were talking about that just the other day. Like, you know, this building, you know, it'll say on the signs like when this building was made and all that stuff. And just kind of blows your mind. That's coming crazy. From California, you know, when a lot of stuff was built in the 1980s. Like literally hundreds and hundreds of years before. It's super cool.
Yeah, all right, okay, these riders lined up. And there's the horn. Up they pop. Rai in red, Christian in white. Is it Daniel in blue and Tom in yellow, and they are off. So Rai, it looks from here, has got a lead, got the nose in front as they head towards that first turn. Yeah, and there's Rai's board. Tom Aubert hanging on to him there. Daniel Hasulio in third and Christian Andersen in fourth.
Yep, and Rai again coming out strong off the starting line.
The home point has been updated.
You can see him leading the pack right there. Tom Aubert in second.
He's
a little
really
bit of separation.
dragging that out. Yeah.
You're starting to see a little bit of separation between third and fourth as they battle it out with Daniel and Christian.
This is really showing why so many of us have been excited and talking so much about Rai coming into this event. He was well positioned in the rankings. He's been having a great season off the back of a great performance last week, and here he is really laying down a mark. So Rai Taguchi is taking that from start to finish in the lead. Tom Aubert bringing in second. Here comes Daniel third, and Christian Anderson bringing it home in fourth.
So Rai and Tom, we will see them in the final round.
In the final.
And I'm assuming Christian and Daniel will be in the consolation final.
Which leaves us with the second semi-final. So no controversy in that one. No delays are going to happen on the back of that. I think we've got the winner, Rai Taguchi, heading over towards Holly. So hopefully we might be able to get a word in with Rai.
All right, and we're going to throw it down to Holly. She is with the winner, Rai Taguchi. Let's check it out.
Rai Taguchi. Rai, that was awesome. How was it?
Thank you so much. I'm very happy.
And do you have anything to say to our Japanese listeners?
セミファイナル、無事ファイナルに上がれました。ありがとうございました。ファイナルも頑張ります。
And good luck in the in the finals, Rai. That's going to be great. Thank you. Back to you guys in the studio. Okay, you good? Well done.
Awesome job.
Good luck in the semi.
Awesome job, Rai. Yeah, that's super cool. Thanks, Holly, for that. So we're just lining up now for semi-final number 2. The guys are starting to get on the water. We've got Connor Baxter, Claudio Nika, Ludovic Choulard and Clement Colmas. So this is, here you go. There's your list for you. Connor, Claudio, Clement, Ludovic. This is packed again. I mean, Connor and Claudio off the back of Connor placing first in the sprints last week, Claudio placing third. So yes, we're expecting big things from this race as we look down. Great aerial shot here. You can see, I think I can see 3 of the riders from this shot just sort of getting ready on that start line area again. A couple of them choosing, looks like Connor maybe just choosing to have a little blast. There's Claudio and Ludovic. So those guys bracing themselves, getting in their seated start. Obviously waiting for Clement to hit the water. Or is it? Yeah. No, they're all there in position and going to start shaping up, ready to go. Super cool. Sun's come out just a little bit again. Wind has started to ease off. We've got a couple of the young Spanish riders strolling past. Sergio Cantarol there, who put in a sterling performance earlier, cruising around, chatting with the friends and family. So the guys are being told to get ready. Connor there standing, getting in his little seated squat position in the dugout. Here we go. This is going to be an interesting one. So Connor, Claudio, Ludovic and Clement. Again, just getting everyone in a fairly lined position. There's the horn, and look at that. Blink and you'll miss it. Popped up. And Claudio isn't letting Connor escape. Clement coming across as well. 3 starboards charging out there. Team Starboard, all of those riders. So it's Connor first to this first buoy. And let's see what sort of approach he has here. Look at that. Cross deck. Quick scoop round. No need for much foot movement there. And this is now a much sharper turn, so a nice big sharp step back. Love that Connor reverse. And he's starting to open a bit of water between Claudio and Clement behind him. Ludovic there in fourth as they come through that sort of longer stretch. This little course here, if you imagine a sort of, if you were viewing it aerially from above, it's a bit like a reversed R. So Claudio and Clement just pulling out around from Claudio there. And that may be the difference as Connor starts cruising towards the finish. Clement in yellow is going to take second there. Do you know, Claudio Nica is going to be in third, so Connor, Clement, then Claudio. And do you know what, I can't help but wonder with that last turn, Claudio, even today and through the week, there's been a few calls, a few judges calls. I can't help but feel that as he and Clement were vying for position there around that, I think he just sort of eased out of it almost. You know?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I was going to say the same thing. You know, the feeling is they're definitely calling technicalities at the buoys, and it did look like Claudio kind of backed off and maybe was like a little afraid. Yeah. And it was a little not as aggressive as he usually seems to be.
Yeah, 100%. That's, you know, I think that certainly stood out. But yeah, Connor and Clement through to the final. And yeah, I think that'll be safely no controversies there. As I say, you can't help but wonder, is that sort of stuff in the back of Claudio's mind coming into that, just easing out, unlike him. But Clement will be happy with that finish. He's been hustling to get around Europe, get on this, be on this tour, and he didn't have a bag man. He didn't have a bag man pulling his board out for him. Claudio bringing the board up. Okay. Cool. Woohoo.
All right, you guys. Well, welcome APP London Sup Open. If you're tuning in, you tuned in at the right time. We've got the finals.
Yeah.
Coming up. Let's check the heats right here.
Yeah. So, well, the men's final, we're going to have Ryan and Tom, then Connor and Clement. Before that, we'll have.
Yeah. So for the men's final, looks like it's shaping up to be Rai Taguchi and Tom Aubert, Connor Baxter,
and Clement Colmas.
Yeah.
And I think we've got some women's.
Yeah, and just getting the word as well. You see Tristan making his way back to the booth there. They were going to review a buoy turn
in that second semi-final.
I guess they decided already it was a clean one, so they just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
And we actually have Holly on the dock with Connor Baxter, so let's check it out down there, dockside.
Thank you, Dave. And that was easy breezy for Mr. Baxter, wasn't it?
I make it look easy for sure. It hurts just as bad as some of the guys are feeling, but you know, it's all about mental game and staying in it, and we got more races to come too. So yes, getting off the start fast, getting that whole shot, but then conserving when you can.
And that was a real tough semi-final, and your board is leaving. 1 second, Connor Baxter's board has left the building, and it's back again. So yeah, very tough semi-final. I mean, you had who you said your biggest competition was, Claudio Nico, who's now out of the race. How does that feel?
You know, it feels good, but always sucks. You know, I've been in those situations plenty of times, and we put so much work and sacrifices into the world tour, each and every event. We're not coming here to get second place or third place. You know, we're all here to win the world title. So it's a bummer, but it makes my chances a little better, so I'll take it. And yeah, just going to go into the next one, give it my all, and get some good rest for the distance tomorrow.
Yeah, and Clement Colmas, would we say he's kind of come out of the woodworks there?
He has. He's been in and around this game for a while. He's an island boy, a New Caledonian, and he knows how to paddle. He knows the ocean, the water, so, you know, he has that island boy mentality, and, you know, never can take your eyes off of him. And he's going to be another firecracker in tomorrow's distance race as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Connor, and back to you guys in the studio. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Connor.
Too easy.
Sorry, Christian.
Game, some of the favorites sometimes aren't going to make the finals every time. Just takes one mistake, and you know, if you're a betting man, you would normally bet on Claudio making the final, but it just shows how competitive these heats are getting. So congratulations to Connor and Clement for that battle. And we're straight into the consolation final for women's. Holly Pye, Irene Negreen, and Molly McKibben. So lots of action this morning here at the APP World Tour. Thank you for tuning in. All the way from London. We got the ladies starting to line up. And you'll see them take their seats. Sprints are a seated start.
There's the horn. And Holly making a good start there, seems to be first pulling away. And Molly and Irene there holding firm in their positions. This is a great, I mean, you know, I'm a UK paddler, and so, you know, I'm looking at events like this and I'm seeing Holly, who's really set the standard in the UK for the last few years. Seeing her sort of leading there, and young Molly getting a chance to really push herself in this sort of competitive environment. This is a great experience for these riders. Irene as well came through the Open this morning, so, you know, this is awesome for them. And Holly really showing now that experience and just power and pace that she's got, because she's opening up a gap. Molly and Irene navigating around the buoy turn like that. Bit of cross-board paddling. And here you can see Holly really pulling away in that stretch. Molly rounding that second buoy in second position. Irene taking a wobble. Oh, she's held firm. Well done, Irene. That could have been a splash, but she's done well to bring herself back up there.
Yeah, if you don't make that catch,
yeah, that's it.
You're on your face, and so she did a great job of, you know, staying dry.
Yeah. Holly really taking charge of this. Nice and controlled turn now. It's just the game of closing this out for her at the moment. Molly, great experience. Super proud of her. Super proud. Look at that. Awesome job, Holly. Well done. And Molly coming through there in second. This is awesome to see for the for UK paddling. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there watching this, and yeah, we can really enjoy this one. Well done, Holly. Well done. Well done, Holly Pye. Give yourself a pat on the back. Molly, you little superstar. Well done.
Flying the flag in their backyard.
And
Way to
Irene,
represent.
Super job. Cool.
That's it.
Yeah, awesome. That's super cool for the UK scene to see that race. Consolation final, Holly taking first, Molly taking second, and Irene there taking third place.
Yeah. And Holly's probably going to get a little camera time down there.
Awesome.
So we'll see. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of Holly and Holly down there.
Lovely.
All right, we got it down there. Holly, with Holly, dockside. Let's check it in.
Thanks, Dave. And I'm here with the winner of the consolation final for the women's, Holly Pye, who is our local paddler. She's English. Holly, how did it go?
Hi, that was really hard, yeah, but so much fun. Really enjoyed it. Just wanted to get to that first buoy first, which luckily I did. So yeah, really happy with that.
And it's distance day tomorrow. How are you feeling for that?
I'm looking forward to it, actually. I much prefer distance. Well, I train more for it, but the Thames, it's not going to be flat. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how everyone does. I think it'll be really interesting.
And see you tomorrow, Holly, and good luck. Well done for today.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Back to you in the studio, Dave. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Holly.
Thank you.
Holly Pye's got to be excited, doing so well in that consolation final. And she mentioned that she actually prefers distance, and she's really looking forward to tomorrow. So she's stoked to do so well in the sprints today, and she's really looking to kind of back it up tomorrow. So
Awesome.
Congrats to Holly.
Yeah, well done, Holly Pye. We're going to get the consolation final for the men's. Daniel Jesulio, Claudio Nica, Christian Andersen, and Ludovic Chulard. And just, I mean, on this one, the just like the turnaround time as well. Like now these guys, they've had this is like their fourth race, and Claudio was just off the water not long ago. He was, taking a moment, having a breather. Just it's fascinating watching how the different personalities just hold themselves and manage themselves around the races. But he's, that's a quick turnaround back on the water for this race. You see them all getting lined up.
Yeah, and it's funny you said that. I was thinking the same thing when I saw Claudio right here. It didn't even hit me that he's going to be out in about another 30 seconds. So he was just kind of over here. Now he's just back in the water, and I am getting some word that it's hard to hear you. So maybe you should take this time to adjust your mic. And here we are, you guys. We're in the Red Bull tent. Best view in the house, as you can see, the action right behind us. And Ian's got to adjust his mic. We hear it's a little soft on air. And that's how we go. We're off the cuff over here. Got our Red Bulls.
We're gonna roll with it.
Papa. And we're going to get to that consolation men's final. Thank you for joining us. APP World Tour. Stoked to be out here in London. The SUP Open.
Super
and
cool. We've got some music happening. Very cool vibes. Loads of people. The selfies are happening in force now. I can see where people are coming off the races. Local SUP fans coming out and really trying to sort of soak up the atmosphere here is cool. As these four get lined up, Christian starting that seating position. As we say, Claudio not long off the water, Daniel there as well. So let's just run through the runners and riders.
And here we go. They are off.
So Daniel in red, Claudio in white, Christian in blue.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to watch these consolation finals because, it's not the final, But I'm always curious to see who wants to blow off some steam. You know, these guys were so close to making the final, and sometimes they become some of the most competitive heats to watch. And you can see Daniel Josulio on the inside, Claudio right there in the middle. Daniel hits that buoy, almost goes down, makes it around, and that's Claudio right behind him. Ludwig slides into third, but Polar Bear has got that inside line, so he might end up being second after this is all said and done. Looks like Daniel cleaning around the buoy first. Polar Bear slides from fourth to second. Yeah, and as you see, the drone is right there in the mix.
So Daniel pulling away as he comes towards this penultimate turn. But young Polar Bear, look at the drone coming in there, I love that.
Almost got a little haircut with the drone.
Claudio and Ludovic. But it's all about up front. Christian made some ground there on Daniel, but it looks like Daniel's going to be able to hold that in the final stretch. What's Christian got left to push him? There we go. Daniel Josulio in the red on the starboard takes first. Christian Andersen, he's riding a 12.6, you know, there, Christian. Ludovic Toulard in third, and Claudio Nica Itali in
fourth. It's always an interesting choice, you know. That's an interesting choice for the course today because it's a little bit longer than some of the sprint courses, but sometimes the 12.6 proves to be an advantage because it gets up to speed quicker. So yeah, you see Casper Steinfath choose a 12.6 a lot of times, and he wins the races. So it's one of those things where team riders started asking, "Hey, can you ship me a 14 and a 12.6?" And you're like, "Wait a minute, it's already hard to get that one board here."
And it's cool, like that. You know, you mentioned Casper. Casper obviously recently sort of stepping out a little bit of the race scene and doing quite a bit of coaching and a few other. He's had some few adventure paddles, but here comes Daniel looking for. I think we'll probably hand over to him where we should. Holly will hopefully grab a word with him after that.
All right, we're going to throw it down to Holly. She's got an interview with winner Daniel Josulio. Take it away.
I'm here with Daniel, winner of the men's consolation final. Daniel, how did that go?
Oh, that was a brutal race. You could see the rhythm was just insane. It felt like a final, and I'm so happy to have made it and just sneaked in that 5th place. I think it's going to be really important for tomorrow's distance and then the overall as well.
And, okay, so we now have the women's final about to start. I want you to give me a prediction. Who's going to win?
I really hope Esperanza is going to take the win. She's our team rider. She's a hero. Go Espe.
Daniel says Espe, but let's find out. Over to you guys.
See you soon.
Okay, Daniel Josulio throwing out the prediction for the women's final. His call is Esperanza. I like that.
That's a good call. I mean, she was fierce earlier and really owned that. That was a competitive. But this is a packed field. Esperanza Barreras, Caroline Kunsel, April Zeal, Juliette Duhaime, Choi Ji-won, and Chloe Walker-Dean. This is going to be a fun race. Do you know, I'm going to call one. I'm going to call Caroline.
I like it.
Let's go
Esperanza and Caroline looking super strong all day, so I can't say you're really going out on a limb there.
There'll be someone listening that thinks I did. Yeah, no, these ladies have really proved their paddling prowess this year. This is super cool actually. Whilst this race, I don't know if you guys can see this on your screens, but whilst this race is being prepped, just over behind us on a separate stretch of the water, we're having like the Docklands Sailing and Water Sports Centre here are actually running a little paddle lesson. teaching new paddlers how to do it, but here we go. These guys definitely know how to do it. These girls definitely know how to do it. You can see the shoulders tucked, the horn has gone. And as you were saying in the previous round when April paddled, you really notice that difference in cadence. April's really focused on power, and you see others trying to get more paddle strokes in, but April really has made a break for it at the start.
Yeah, and April, the start of that, it did look like her cadence picked up a little bit, and obviously once she gets up to speed, her power takes over, and you can see now she's kind of got that signature Danny Ching staggered stance, nice long power
All
stroke.
on one side.
And we got
great first stretch.
Yes, April making it do that first turn first, Esperanza in second. That's Caroline in third, Juliette DeHeim in fourth. Buoy number 2.
A little stutter in the turn there from April, but she's now pulling away from that nicely. Esperanza hot on her heels.
Yeah, and you can see Caroline smartly get out of the draft and get out to the outside to get a little bit cleaner water. Try to get some ground. Juliet's still fighting there in the 4th position. And there's that nice, powerful signature April stroke we've been talking about. Nice crossbow turn, nice and clean. Esperanza right there as well. A little bit of separation now.
Yeah, neither of the front two really wanting to risk too much in that last turn there. And here we go.
Oh,
now. April's missed a stroke on the turn there. Esperanza trying to get over the back of the board.
I would have liked to see Esperanza get a little more aggressive on that turn. That was a little bit of a door opening for her. Unable to capitalize as much as she would have liked.
As good and fast as Esperanza is, I don't know if she can make up the yards in this short space, but it is tight. She is pushing all the way, but April for the win there. Esperanza second. Caroline in third. Juliette pushing Caroline all the way there. Juliette DeHeim in 4.
Yeah, and April just coming off a win at the ICF in Oklahoma. And I think she's been pretty stoked because I don't think she, in her own mind, expects to win the sprints.
No.
So for her to win that sprint, she's got to be ecstatic.
Be super happy. Super happy. Well done to all the paddlers there.
So April, you're tour points leader.
Yeah. Bagging even more.
Yeah, and that's one thing we didn't mention about the consolation final. You know, you tend to, kind of put those to the side, but those are so important for the overall points of the event.
Yeah,
it's a combination of the sprints and the distance for the overall winner of the event. So, every placing is actually a big deal.
Yeah. Hello.
What's up, you guys? We just finished the women's sprint final. April Zilg taking that win. Esperanza holding on to second place. Thank you for tuning in. And so what do you think? What do you think about the men's? How are you feeling about this?
It's difficult to look past the guys. I mean, Connor's been looking super sharp, on fire. But it's, anything can happen here. There's guys in that race that are going to be pushing him all the way. Where are they at the moment? Are they getting, what are we on next? What's the...
I believe it's the men's final.
It is the men's final, isn't it?
Yeah, and obviously Connor's one to watch. Connor's been looking strong. And we're going to go down to the winner of the women's sprints, April Zilg, with Holly.
And I'm here with April Zilg, champion of the women's sprints at the London Sup Open. April, how are you feeling?
Absolutely elated. A little disbelief again, as always, but just really thrilled and relieved.
And tell me how that heat went. You had some strong women in that heat.
It was insane. You know, whenever you've got competition of that level, it really behooves you to shut them out and focus on your own race. And a course as short as this, smooth as fast, and minimizing mistakes is what it's really all about. You can't look to your left or your right. You can't look at your competition. You can only look where you're going and do everything in your power to have your cleanest and best race. I actually thought I blew it on the last buoy there. My arms kind of locked up. I've been going really hard a lot lately, and I went to take my buoy turn and I missed the water, and I was like 90% sure that was going to be it for me. I thought I was going to fall into last place, but I tried again and got the paddle in the water that second time. That was a horrible turn. Not stoked on that. So other than that, though, yeah, I was able to hold him off, so it was good.
Awesome, and congratulations, April, women's champion of the women's sprints.
Yay! Thank you so much, Holly.
Back to you guys in the studio. Well done, April. Thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you, Holly. April, congratulations to you. She's obviously super stoked. She touched on a couple points that we mentioned. One was the buoy turn. She was disappointed in her last buoy turn. She thought maybe that was going to be it for her. She went to go paddle, missed the stroke, and that's when we said the doors open for Esperanza.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Esperanza couldn't take advantage of that.
It was
but she mentioned that, and she also mentioned that the way she goes about it is she races her own race, focuses on herself, and the quote I liked was she said, "Always look forward."
Nice.
There you go.
Sound advice from April Zilg, and it's cool to see. Like, I mean, I know you're at the end of that sort of, you've done a final, so I think your body and you sort of psychologically allow yourself to be a bit more free. So seeing her just at the end of the interview there, giving it, guns and just being like, yeah, this is, I feel like the athletes don't allow themselves that until they get the...
All right, it looks like we're actually going to get a word with Esperanza, so we're going to throw it down to Holly on the dock side with Esperanza right now.
I hope they can hear Esperanza.
Competing at ABB. All the women are super strong, so it's a good result for me.
And tomorrow, all eyes are you for the distance race. How are you feeling for that? Are you feeling strong?
I feel like today, just come and enjoy the race, and let's see what happens later.
Perfect, thank you so much, SB. Rest up and get ready for tomorrow.
Yes, full. Absolutely ready.
Congratulations. Okay, back to you guys in the studio. Awesome, thank you, SB. Caroline. Third place, Caroline.
All right, thank you, Holly. I wasn't able to hear Esperanza, but congratulations to her. That's a big place, second place for her in the day one of competition.
Yeah, no, that was a good race, and as you say, there was that window of opportunity, but April closed it out. It's getting some points on the board, climbing that ladder as the World Tour continues, the APP World Tour. And so now you can see...
All right, we're actually going to drop down to Holly with the third place women.
Awesome, cool.
For another on-the-spot interview. Holly's just ripping these. Awesome. It's going to be with Caroline Kuntzel.
Yeah.
So Holly, down to you.
The finish line of the women's sprints. Caroline, tell me how it went.
It was really difficult, actually. I expected it to be difficult, but I must admit that the start really means a lot in this race. So I hope for a podium spot, so I got that. I reached my goal, but I'm looking forward to battle more with Espe and April.
Amazing, and good luck for tomorrow, Caroline. How are you feeling?
I'm not doing the distance tomorrow. I unfortunately have a foot injury, but I'll be ready for Korea.
And men's final, who's going to win?
Oh, tough call, but I think Connor.
Oh, she said it here first, guys. Okay, back to you in the studio, and let's go to the men's final.
All right, Holly, thank you for that. Caroline, super stoked. She mentioned that she was stoked to make the podium. That was her goal.
Yeah.
And she's happy with the third place, and she knows how important those points are for the overall title of the London Sup Open.
She is a savvy young rider, and interestingly, her partner, Yupa, who is here just offering support and sort of running around helping her, he was just behind us there and super stoked for her. But here we go. Men's final, Rai Taguchi, Connor Baxter, Tom Aubert and Clement Colmas. This is going to be fun.
What's your call?
Oh, come on! Don't be, I tell you, I can't hide it. This year I have just become a fanboy of Rai Taguchi. The guy.
You got the Rai Taguchi fan club?
I've got the Rai Taguchi fan club. I'm the founding member. I'm backing him all the way today. I tell you, we saw him last week in Poland. We got a chance to sort of we were training just alongside him, and just seeing his dad Genki gave me my favourite moment of the tournament last week, where when he placed third, his dad was just like broke down, like all the emotions came out at once, and like just stoked for him. But this is going to be tough because.
Well, I'll tell you what, Connor and Rai have looked the most solid today. They've won each of their heats pretty convincingly. Clement has been kind of stealth, doing really good. But
there's the horn.
Yeah, here we go. Connor Baxter out right away.
Out. So there they go. Connor really making a charge, and he's got a bit of space out there. The other three coming together out on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it really is interesting how Connor went left and everybody kind of went to the right.
A little switch over from Connor there, just giving a little catch-up moment there for Rai. So here we go.
Yeah, I am a bit surprised Rai gave up kind of battling for the lead so quickly. He kind of jumped right into second just
first
to
turn.
Hold on
Connor
there.
is round. Rai is round. Tom just on the inside of Rai there. Clement taking a wobble at the back there, just on the wake that's being kicked up from these three, really powering through.
Yeah, and it's such an advantage to be out front. You know, you get no board contact with anybody else. You know, and a lot of times the board could slow down the board in front of you because it's touching, it's bumping, it's getting you off course a little bit. Rai doing a good job to kind of break away a little bit from third at Tom.
Interesting, even there, just watching the difference between Connor's turn around that penultimate buoy and Rai with much more paddle strokes, Connor with more sweeps.
Yeah, so Connor's just going to open up though. Watch this.
And that is why he's world champ. But Rai really not wanting to give this up.
No, you can see Rai purposely getting the clean water because it's super hard to crawl over a draft bump.
Awesome. Connor over the line first. Rai Taguchi right on his tail in second place. In third, Tom Aubert and Clement Colmas in four. I mean, that's fast paddling.
Yeah, that was a battle. And you know what? Connor and Rai have looked the strongest, I would have to say, all day. So no surprise there. 1 and 2. Clement and Tom really paddling well today as well. But Connor, at this point in time, seems unbeatable. He's just been winning everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's so impressive, so impressive.
And I was talking to a couple of people about it. You know, it not only is it impressive just the form he's in, but you know how long he's been doing it. The sustainability of how long he's been so good and so fast. And you know, he made a comment on the APP Instagram. You know, these guys haven't been even paddling, you know, a quarter of the time I have, or something like that. And you know, he's kind of settling into that veteran stature, you know, and it's pretty rad.
Yeah, no, it's cool to see. And we were talking about dad power earlier. Obviously, he's got young Trestle.
Yes,
that's arrived on the scene.
Dad
so
power
dad
is a
power,
real
maybe
thing,
that's
I'll tell you.
maybe that's the secret sauce. Who knows?
Well, you got to think about it. Boothie's got a kid.
Yeah. They're all
right
owning it.
Danny Ching.
Yeah,
and all these guys are monsters, man. It's the dad strength.
It's a thing. You heard it here.
It's a thing. But so if we're thinking about the overall, so that puts Connor in pole position for the overall title, obviously taking a win.
Rai coming up in second is going to
Yeah, I mean,
see how that bumps him up.
He's got a great,
him in a great
great
position.
shot for the overall. Rye didn't compete in Santa Monica,
Yeah.
so for the overall points, you know, you're thinking about someone like Itzel Delgado, who had a really good, you know, opportunity to jump over. He's in third.
Yeah.
But you know, he was unable to make it to the final. So he's got to do really well tomorrow. You know, really for the overall is the main thing. But he's trying to maximize points while Michael Booth is not here and guys like that. So yeah, it all comes into play.
It does. It all counts. Get the points on the board. You can see, I don't know if you can see this at the bottom of this aerial shot you're getting, but it's a nice moment with Connor and Rye just sort of paddling along together, doffing the cap to each other. That's super nice. Bit of respect between the paddlers there. And I think that's going to be those two heading hopefully towards
Connor with a little bit of a victory lap right there. Let's see.
In here. Here we go. How many donuts can you do? I think that's one big thing about Connor this year. Like, we talk about his ownership of it all, you know, like where he's just leading the charge, but it's also just like, and hopefully we'll hear this in an interview soon, but he's really enjoying his paddling, and it really comes across when you speak to him. Super stoked. He's loving getting out to all these events again, like having this tour back up and established. So yeah,
it's kind of been the most passionate you've seen Connor.
Yeah.
You know, like All right, and we're going to throw it down to Holly with the winner, Connor Baxter, yet again, the sprint master here in London. Holly, take it away.
And Connor Baxter does it again. Connor, how are you feeling?
Over the moon. Just trying to keep this momentum going. You know, it's a long year and traveling, competing, leaving family. So when victories like this happen, it's a lot more emotional, a lot more victorious than just a win or a title behind it. So really stoked on this win. Nay, Tressel, hope you guys are sleeping good and get to watch the replay. Love you guys, and yeah, be home soon.
And, you know, you had a really tough final. You know, we were worried about Rye, but you just seem to kick it into another gear when it matters. How come you have a sixth gear when other people don't?
That's all in the mind, you know. It's that mindset, that hunger, that mentality that I was actually not having previous years. There was always a level I knew I could get to, but I wasn't excited. I wasn't having fun. And now there's a new set of motivations. There's a fire burning underneath me right now, and I have something to prove.
And looking ahead tomorrow, how are you feeling? Sprints boxed off, one distance?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Sprints are done. That was where the focus was, so kind of can lay back, relax a bit. Still going for the overall, of course. Not my strong suit, so just going to play a smart, safe race. Hopefully hang on to these boys' draft and come over in the top 5.
And you managed to hold off the young guns. Obviously, Rye was just on your tail there. How was that?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, it's I was talking about it earlier. You know, I was doing this, what Rye and Shrimpy were doing to me now, to the Dannys, the Dave Kalamas, the Travis Grants, and the Jamie Mitchells, and now I guess it's full circle, right? So now I got these young guns chasing me, hot on my heels, giving me some extra motivation and want.
Congratulations, Connor.
Thank you, APP.
Back to you in the studio. If you could stick around, it might be a longer interview.
Right on, Holly. Thank you for that interview, and it's great to hear from Connor. Obviously, I got the earpiece, so you didn't hear the interview.
I was lip reading, didn't get a thing. But he looked super stoked. I'm chuffed
I
for
will
you, Connor.
clue you in, but a few things that that Connor mentioned was that I found interesting. He mentioned that he has something to prove.
Okay.
And in my eyes, Connor doesn't really have anything to prove. But he backed that up by saying, you know, he went from winning a lot of races. He had a couple off years where the motivation wasn't there. He just wasn't having fun paddling anymore. And, you know, it took him a while to find that rejuvenated fun in the sport. And now he's on a whole different mindset. You know, he's racing for different things, family. He's got his kid, Tressel. And so it's really kind of come back to like the fire and the burning desire. And that's why he's more passionate than ever. And which we just mentioned. And so he's looking forward to the distance race tomorrow. Obviously, he knows he's not, you know, the favorite to win, and he's hoping to get a top 5 finish or so, and really settle into that overall title. So Connor Baxter, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Connor and April Zilg. Really no surprises there if you think about it. And so it's been an excellent first day of racing.
What a day.
The sprints, action happening. And tomorrow we'll be on the River Thames for the distance race. And what are your predictions there, if you have any?
Well, do you know, it's interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but listening to Daniel Hazulio talking about paddling on the river and just sort of seeing some of the stuff that he's been doing this year, I think I'd probably back him. Let's see.
Okay, it looks like I think Daniel is a great pick and he'd be one of mine, but we are going to jump to Holly real quick.
Cool.
And she's got second place, Rai Taguchi
yes.
from Japan, live on the interview. Let's go down, Holly.
Okay, I'm here with Rai Taguchi, second place of the men's London Sup Open sprints. Rai, how was it?
I'm so happy and fun, so fun. Thank you, my sponsor and family and all fun. Thank you so much.
And what do you have to say for all the Japanese listeners, Rai?
本当にAPP ワールドツアーで念願の入賞できて、2番だったんですけど本当に嬉しいです。で本当にここポーランドからこの遠征まですごい長くて、来週も韓国に行くんですけど。でもそれまでサポートしてくれた皆さんに本当に感謝してます。ありがとうございました。また明日もディスタンスあるので頑張ります。
And one more question, Rai. What was it like racing against Connor Baxter and almost beating him?
He's so fast, so strong.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rai, and good luck in the long distance tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Back to you.
Thank you.
All right, Holly, thank you for that interview. Rai Taguchi, congratulations once again with the second place. I only got to hear the last final moments of his interview, and what he said was, wow, he's so fast. He's just so fast. So, Rai, I agree with you, but look, brother, you're just as fast as well, so congratulations to you. There's a shot of Connor Baxter.
Oh, that's so true, though. I mean, if you've got Rai Taguchi coming off the water saying that, I mean, Rai, man, you are fast and you are pushing him all the way. It's these guys pushing Connor. As you said, he's like back in that mindset, back in that zone where he wants to keep charging, and he needs people like Rai around him that are pushing him every inch of the way. So super cool, stoked for Rai. Well done.
Yeah, no, it's super cool to see, and like you mentioned, Connor's starting to own being, I mean, he's a legend of the sport, straight up.
Yeah.
And maybe he's always been humble, but now he's really starting to, like you said, step into that role, show his passion. It's been noticeable, every time he's like, screaming and throwing and stuff, and I love it, man. And he deserves it. Connor's one of those guys. He's a technician, right? Technician. You see him with all the recovery stuff.
Yeah.
He's got all the little latest breathing gadgets, and it's just awesome to see him step up his game and just be on top of the sport for so long. There's Rai Taguchi, signature headband look, loving that.
There's Ginky. That's his father there.
Always got to get the selfie.
Yeah, taking his picture. He's been around with him all year. That's super cool to see. They've been a real fun team to sort of watch paddling around and training hard, but just having a lot of fun off the water. So that's super cool. Really pleased for him. And yeah, no, the vibes now, I mean, I don't know if they'll get the camera panning around, but everyone's super chilled. The sun is out. I mean, here we are in London. We've had some awesome paddling this morning. Again, big thank you to our host venue, the Dockland Sailing and Water Sports Centre, who have been super kind at helping us facilitate this in short notice. So, yeah, it's really cool.
All right, you guys. Well, it sounds like we're going to throw it down to Holly. She's got a final few words to say down from the dock. And come back to us. But Holly, take it away if you're ready. All right, Holly, we're ready for you.
So much for joining us here at the London Sup Open for the sprints. The action has been incredible, and watching it waterside has just been unreal. The races are faster than you can even imagine. Tomorrow we'll be joining on the Thames River for the long distance race starting at 9 a.m, which we will be live broadcasting. So join us for that, and let's see if Connor and April can do it again. Thank you so much, Dave and Ian in the commentator booth, and see you tomorrow.
All right, Holly, thank you for that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to day one of the London Sup Open here for the APP World Tour. We'll make sure to be here tomorrow morning for the distance race on the famous River Toms. And make sure to check in Instagram APP World Tour as well as appworldtour.com. We'll keep you up to date when the race starts and all the results. And I want to thank my cohort
for
joining us in the booth. We'll be back tomorrow. And Dave Bainey, sign off.
Let's do this.
Yeah, any final words from you?
Oh, just what an awesome day, awesome fun, great atmosphere, and yeah, just stoked, really excited for tomorrow. It's going to be special, given the day, the circumstances, and the event itself. Can't wait. Tune in. We're going to have a lot of fun.
All right, you guys. Thanks again, appworldtour.com for all the updates. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you bright and early. Paddle on.